its very public birth and its tentative first steps against St Kilda, Fremantle is ready to hit the big time. The newest member of the AFL has journeyed to football headquarters in Melbourne for its historic debut against Richmond. The Tigers might well be touted as the improvers of '95, but today they will be aiming for their first opening round win since 1982. From the MCG, this is AFL Saturday, featuring Richmond, and for the first time, the men of Fremantle.
Hi there everyone, welcome along to the MCG for the second day of the season and the first day for the Fremantle Dockers. Today they take on Richmond, a team that won 12 games last season. They're on the ground now, but bearing in mind the Tigers haven't won in round one since 1982, an amazing record. The Dockers out first today in their away strip, predominantly green, and what a big day it is for them. Three other games being played today up at Kardinia Park. It's Geelong against Melbourne. Hawthorn take on Brisbane at Waverley. And Doug Hawkins goes home to the Western Oval, this time in a Fitzroy Guernsey, as they play Essendon. And we say a very good afternoon to Don Scott. A brand new team. History says new teams win first up, Don.
Does it really do?
It does. I looked it up.
Well, either great minds think alike or you're a plagiarist, because I was reminded of that earlier in the week. I thought, no, it couldn't be true. But it is. Richmond haven't won for such a long time, first up. But I'm impressed.
Can the Dockers keep that record rolling if we're talking about history? A loss to Richmond?
Well, they could, but then again, I'm looking for, as I was just going to say before, I'm looking forward to this game because they've got some exciting players there. Whether they're up to AFL standard at this stage, I don't think
Ben
so.
Allen.
Oh, Ben Allen's not bad, but his couple of teammates may be lacking a little bit, but it's a learning process. They're on a learning curve.
Now, the Tigers first up. In contrast to the Dockers, it seems to me they've got some proven goal kickers up forward.
Well, it's a fairly settled side. I know it's only the first game of the season, but this is basically the side that was playing last year, and they really did string some good games together, Richmond, particularly mid-season. We see their Duncan Callaway. What a goer this man is. Every team would like to have a Duncan Callaway. He can put a fellow out of the game. Richardson, 101 kilos now. He's muscled up. It's not just flab, it is muscle. He's quick. Flab. But he's been around for quite a while. He first played when he's 17, and we've just got to remember that he's only 19 years of age, but he's exciting. And Tony Free, I think he'll be a little bit underdone because of that jaw injury.
Let's take a look at Fremantle. There's Scotty Waters, the vice-captain.
Yes, I'm impressed with Scott, particularly when he's at Sydney. He really did set up a lot of plays for that team.
I've got a question before you go any further. They're going in with 10 rookies today. They've left out experienced players like Wills, Nettlebeck. That surprises me a bit.
No, it doesn't surprise me because Wills is up and down. I mean, you wouldn't...
yeah, but the first half hour is going to be tough today, don't you think? Real tough.
Well, maybe tough, and who was the other one you said? Nettlebeck is a bit the same, but then again, Nettlebeck can play both ends of the ground.
Why do you get them then? Why do you recruit them?
I'm a TV commentator, not a football administrator.
Used to coach. So did I. Okay, where you go?
Well, Ben Allen, he's got a big responsibility on his shoulders. A small man leading the side, but he'll be in midfield, and if he can play as he played at Hawthorn, he will definitely be an acquisition. Durkay, Dennis, this man would be, I would say, the first man from Arnhem Land to play football, AFL football. He comes from Go. And Peter Bell, the first Korean-born player. So there's history here. It reeks of history.
Born in Seoul, actually, and brought up in Victoria in his early years. Peter Bell, very good player. So the waiting's over. Get the VCRs rolling. The Fremantle Dockers and Richmond right after this break. Yes, welcome back to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. As you can see, not full today. We wouldn't expect that. As we say good afternoon and watch the Dockers to former Hawthorn and St Kilda champ, Russell Morris. Hello, Russell.
G'day, Dennis. How are you going?
Yeah, very well, thanks. I was talking to Don before, who didn't really say too much about a torrid start. Do you expect one today?
Oh, look, certainly. First game for Fremantle. It's a very important day. Like, I saw them out at half-time with the seconds before, and I think they must be in awe because they've come from Fremantle Oval over in Perth. And that's a lot smaller. It holds about 10 or 15,000 people. But, you know, coming to the G, the mecca of football, it's fantastic. I mean, the atmosphere is sensational. And these guys are going to be right at it right from the start for sure.
Can they cause a surprise, do you think, or is that expecting too much?
Well, I think the adrenaline pumps always in the first 10 or so minutes, or maybe in the first quarter. But the adrenaline's pumping for Richmond as well. So I think the step from pre-season games to first games is probably another 20 or 30%. So I think that's where maybe Fremantle may be found wanting, but Richmond, I'm sure, will hit them very, very hard.
Okay, so you're going for the Tigers?
Yeah, easy today. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Good to see you, Russ.
Thanks, Dan.
Talk later during the course of this game. As we say, good afternoon to Peter Landy, who joins us now. What about a selection, Pete?
Hi, Dennis. Well, despite the fact I know what you were alluding to before, new teams have success, like North Melbourne and the Brisbane Bears. The Eagles won first up.
That was amazing. I mean, Brisbane that Friday night beat North here under lights.
Well, it put me out of the one-on-one tipping that year. I know in the first
entire
round. Season. So I'll have to go for Richmond. I think experience counts a lot here, as Russell mentioned, the mecca of football. But I wouldn't underestimate Fremantle. They've got a lot of good players there. The nucleus is there. It'll be interesting to see how they go.
Just interesting watching the teams as they were having their final talk by their respective captains. At Richmond, a much bigger side physically than what Fremantle are. There's Fremantle. Great jumpers. Great jumpers.
Howard, Prescott and Tape coming off for the Tigers. They'll start on the bench.
The ground got a lot of publicity, Dennis, during the week. One thing I do notice today, apart from the discoloured grass, the centre wicket area, there are 3 cricket pitches rather visible out there. They all look pretty hard.
Norrish, Chisholm and Abraham off for the Dockers. It's amazing, really. Richmond, the first side the Eagles played, they won that game. Richmond went on for a very poor season, finished at the bottom. And now the Dockers start against the Tigers. Next week they play Essendon, and the Eagles played them in round 2. So history repeating itself. Can the Dockers take it a step further and win this game? Gale and Burton face to face.
And Gale at full forward, Richardson at centre half forward for Richmond.
The Fremantle Dockers officially in the competition, up against the Tigers. There's the bounce and a beauty too. Burton missed it. Dia didn't. Slapped it down into the path of Broderick, who knocks it down towards half forward. Edwards didn't have the ball. Worked forward now by Daffy. It pitches about 25 metres out. Gale falling to the ground. Got the hand pass up. It's slapped out of defence out wide towards Allen. Being held by Knights. Sure. He'll get the free kick at centre half back. Ben Allen wants to go, slipped over. Eventually Kickett has it inside the centre square. The short one to Burton, and Burton's away. Kicks it inside the 50. Down towards Ridley. Knocked away by Turner, taken by Campbell. Campbell across half back, a speedster. Settles now. Kicks towards Rogers. Awkward bounce for him. He left it behind. This is Bond. Brilliantly done. Great evasion. Kicks it down towards half forward. It's a floater from behind O'Reilly. Slapped out of there by Kirk. It's going to Gale. Gale will get this free about 40 metres out.
Well, that's again the advantage of playing in front. He's a big man, Gale. He's been battling a little bit pre-season, but you can see there the advantage in front. He's being held by the left hand and the right hand coming over the shoulder. So the umpire right in the right position to pay that. Let's hope that Brendan improves on his pre-season form. He's a great player.
So Gale taking plenty of time with this one. Perfect day for footy. And the kick is close, but not perfect.
There would have been a lot more noise if Gale had gold. So a minor score coming up. Gilbert to bring the ball back into play.
And the Dockers playing the huddle. They've on the break now.
And Gilbert should know the MCG fairly well. Probably better than most of his teammates. Burton, Richardson. Neither could bring it down. Kicked away by Allen. Up towards right half forward. The bouncer factor. Burrows right on the 50. Long shot at goal. Is that going to be their first? It might be their first score. It is. It's a rush behind off the hands of about 2 or 3. And so the Dockers get their first score, albeit a minor one. Number 36 for Richmond, Stuart Wigney, who's been to Footscray, Sydney and Adelaide.
He's a great pickup. He's lost a lot of weight since he was at Adelaide last year, about 7 kilos. And he's a state representative when he played for Footscray. So
also played for the South Australian Eagles in their premiership side. And there he is.
Actually, in the last 3 games, Peter, pre-season, he's picked up over 20 possessions in each of those games, Wigney.
Wigney much travelled. Mark on centre wing. That's to Groom.
That's a great mark by Mann.
Oh, Mann, sorry. First quarter, we might have a few yips. There's a free kick.
Best man, Groom. It's much the same thing, isn't it?
Burrows for his second kick. A little bit further out than the initial one. Spears it in towards full forward. Well, almost a bit of holding there. The umpire's found a free kick going, well, it's going Richmond's way.
Yes, no, that's another good decision.
Broderick comes away with the football. Low trajectory drop punt. Edwards getting underneath it. Couldn't quite drag it in. Opportunity for the Tigers to go forward. The kick is smothered. It came off the boot of Stuart Maxfield. And it's out of bounds right next to the interchange area on centre wing. One behind each early in the first term.
There's the forecast. As I said, a beautiful day for footy. It's Murillo's hand pass that was smothered. It ricochets back towards Edwards. Got an unkind bounce, and then Maxfield was unkind. An elbow around the head. Unintentional. Edwards
unintentional.
I thought so. He slipped over. Well, he should be reported there. Here's Murillo. Forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Ridley comes on the lead and takes the mark about 35 metres out. Ridley, former Essendon player.
Played some good games early on, Ridley, for Essendon.
Finished the season very well last year, I thought.
Dislocated his shoulder early pre-season.
Yeah, he's had his problems. Will this be their first goal?
Looks good.
Good looking kick. I think it's home. It is. Dockers lead by 6 points.
So Todd Ridley will be in the history books. First goal for the Dockers in the AFL.
And it was a good build-up too. Good passage of play. Here it is, the build-up once again. Murillo. Ridley getting away from Turner. And from 48 metres, an easy goal.
Well, that should certainly instill confidence into the Dockers. Burton high again. Hacks it out of mid-air. Chance for Edwards chasing. Maxfield. Now Delaney. Off the edge of the square. Ridley again. Mark number 2 in front of Turner.
The man that I'm impressed with, Peter, is the big fellow, Burton. He shows a lot of agility for his size.
210 centimetres.
And he's got a bit of a leap too. He didn't judge the first bounce terribly well. He was a long way from deer, but that time he got it going and followed up, and that was good to see.
Tallest man ever to play in the VFL or the AFL, Don. That works out at 6'10 and a half.
It's pretty big. And he's hooked that one a little bit. And one behind to the Dockers, kicked by Todd Ridley, so he has 1-1 against his name. Added the Dockers total of 1 goal, 2, and they lead by 7 points at the MCG with under 16 minutes left in the first term. Turner to kick in.
Going for distance. Sends it long towards the outer side. Wigney controls it on the ground pretty well. Feeds it back inside. Awkward one. Bond has to wait. Did nicely. Spins away from half-back. A very high kick through the middle. Who's at the fall of the ball? Well, Richardson was very high. Got hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Campbell was pushed in the back. Bad luck for Allen. He got a kind bounce there. That ball bounced very high on the centre wicket area. And Allen didn't think it would. Campbell was in front, but had he waited, Allen would have got that one. As it is, Campbell does. And plays on. Kicks down towards half forward. Richardson once more the target. Mann gets the fist on it. Burton will need to go here. Played it pretty well. Knights flicked it back. Opportunity for Broderick. Feeds it inside to Deer. Deer from about 80 metres out. Naish has to wait. They come from all directions. Fisted away down there by Gilbert. Forward of the pack, an opportunity. Murillo. He comes away. Well played, young man. Gets it away to Edwards. Edwards forward of half back. Towards half forward. Burrows on the lead. Burrows forward of the wing. Looks back to the middle. Allen meters in the clear. Waits for it. Ample time. He's about 60 metres from goal. Kicks for space. Ridley on the lead again. He's giving Turner the runaround down there. Feeds it off. Delaney. Delaney right on the 50. Arches the back. Gets away. Still he goes, Delaney. 35 metres out. He's been knocked off for going too far. Must have been marginal.
Knights will really...
Marginal.
Knights will really have to tighten up on Ben Allen. He's not very defensive, Matthew Knights, and it was noticeable in a pre-season game earlier this year that he's not real flash on the defensive side of his game. That's what he's got to pick up on, because Allen is starting to set it up for Fremantle.
Mark Marinda just up from the right back pocket. Hugs the boundary line with the kick. Burton a little nudge out, more than a little nudge out. The umpire elects to, well, he'll ball it up now. But Burton doing well against Deer so far. Deere certainly the more experienced. And they're the odds today. Richmond 6-1 on.
It's a bad bet given the form, isn't it?
2-horse race.
You lost your last 13.
Bond, best and fairest last year. Burton, quick kick from a standing start. Finds touch on the boundary line, and it will be thrown in 60 metres from goal on the outer side. So a good start by the Dockers. Burton doing well on the centre bounce and shows a lot of agility for his 210 centimetres.
His father was a big man, played for Subiaco. Peter Burton.
Deere wins that contest. Quick kick. I think it came off Broderick's boot. It's out of bounds. And Todd Ridley going to take his third kick of the quarter. Too far out to score. Former Bomber. He's gone in short. Groom on the lead. Couldn't quite drag it in. His opposite number 35 does, and that's Bond. As I said, the best and fairest winner in Tigerland last year. Leach overruns the ball. Might get a second opportunity. Delaney's there to give him backup support. So too is Daffy and Rogers. Now a chance for the much-travelled kicker. Tries to get it back to Groom. Knights goes in there. Allen gives backup support. The former Hawk. Well, it's a real 9-iron shot. An up and under job. Doesn't travel very far subsequently. Burrows missed it. Opportunity for Wigney to go for the hand pass. Is the tackle too high from Crummell?
Yes.
I think it might have been. Free kick to Richmond. And the advantage is paid. The Tigers should get out of it. And they do.
Not a
good
kick.
Slow start.
Not a good kick by Free.
2 broken jaws in the last couple of seasons. 1 pre-season here. This is Edwards' kick.
He started very well. Down towards half forward. Groom the flyer in front. Miranda behind. Didn't have it. Crummell keeps it in front. Well played. It floats out of bounds. So bad luck on the kick. Turner gets the free. Wigney on across the ground. Deere breaks further afield. Wigney looks back, spots Deere, lays the ball into his path. This will be interesting. Look at Burton go.
Oh,
He's sprinted along.
Quite impressive, Dennis.
Well done. Leach the fumble. Burton fell on top of him. That would hurt. It spills to Daffy. Daffy boots it inside the 50. Awkward bounce for Edwards, taken by Gale. O'Reilly crashes in, tries to slap it out. Falling to the ground, kick it. Bounces to his feet, well played. Releases the ball well too. This is Leach. Leach comes away from half back. Runs towards the middle, kicks towards half forward. Crummell needs to go, didn't. Kellaway did well, gets it across to Free. Free forward of half back. High one towards half forward. Richardson in front. Man flies from behind, knocks it down. This is Delaney. Slipped over, now he's got problems. Back to Man. Man tries to draw a man. Waters running into open space. On the wing, goes down towards half forward. Murillo, good shepherd behind the play. No, the umpire didn't like it.
There was a free kick against Ridley anyway. The umpire right on the spot to play, but it comes back to centre wing.
On the shepherd, I think.
Yes, it was. So Bond, who's been busy in the first quarter, as you would expect, carrying on the good form he displayed in 1994. Big pack of players at half forward. Gale's got a great run! Brendan Gale answers to Benny. He'll answer to anything if he can kick this a little bit further out than that free kick he got earlier. Let's watch it again. Great grab. Right out of the textbook. Strong hands. So he missed one. He's got one behind against his name. The only score for the Tigers so far. Usually a good kick. Probably his kicking though doesn't quite measure up to his marking, which is certainly his forte. 48 metres out, goes at goal. That's better. Tigers first. So Brendan Gale gets the Tigers on the scoreboard. 1-1-7, trailing Fremantle 1-2-8, and we're halfway through the first quarter at the MCG in the opening round of the season.
Well, they talk about the 2-pronged forward line at North Melbourne. I don't mind this forward line either for Richmond. They're set up when they've got Richardson and Gale up there, both capable of anything and very good players. And there's Gale playing at full forward or across that full forward line.
Fremantle lead by a point. We're back in the middle. The replay showing O'Reilly had to punch away. He elected not to. This is Kickett playing for his 5th AFL club. One of only 3 men to have done that. There's Murillo. Probing kick inside the 50. Kellaway did well. Falling back off his man to mark it in the square. Kellaway, members side with a kick. Broderick approaches it rather slowly. As a result, no play on the ball. Waters wanted it most. Waters hard against the line. Quick hands away. Crummell. Murillo inside. Needs to go again and does. Delaney It's Allen now, gets it across towards Bell. Bell from 35 metres out. I think he's got it. He has.
Peter Bell scoring his first goal and Fremantle second. Great snapshot and a good build-up, Don.
Another impressive player is Murillo. Now, he's been involved a lot of play. He'll get involved just here, setting play up. He's quite impressive, Murillo, and I think Richmond midfielders will really have to start and wake up and say, hey, these guys aren't too bad. We can't give them any latitude.
Peter Bell, great snapshot for his first and the Dockers second. Allen again out of the circle to half forward and Wigney.
He's doing all right, Wigney too, early.
Stuart Wigney favouring the outer side. Delaney in front. Rogers underneath it. Kick it. Looks a little different with short hair, doesn't he? Burton. Eagles, I'll call him a reject, but he's done pretty well. Pre-season form with the Dockers. Turner takes the mark in front of Ridley. Having a quick look around the ground, I think the only man with long sleeves on today. Turner's kick to midfield, or to be more correct, centre wing. Good mark to Leach. Richmond fans thinking there may have been a push, or two of them, some talking needed there. And finally coming away with it is Winston Abraham. Has a shot at goal, it won't bend back far enough off the hands of the pack and rush through for a behind to the Fremantle Dockers. Their second rush behind. 2 goals, 3 now, their total. 2-3 to 1-1 at the MCG in the first quarter. Winston Abraham. Turner to bring it back into play. Low trajectory pass and snaffled up there nicely by Wayne Campbell. Campbell short of half-back. Target out there is Richardson and takes a good mark in front of Mann.
Showed his athleticism then, Richardson.
Plays on, back to Campbell. Inside the centre square, he boots it down towards half forward. Gale, that's better from O'Reilly. Big fist away. Waters very cleverly done. And again, Waters at centre half back, still going. Chisholm, his first possession, lobs it over the top. Edwards, who goes again. Allen has been inspired so far. He's on the wing. He kicks down towards the 50. Nobody at home. Campbell showed a lot of courage. Coming up to meet him was Bell. Miranda lost it. Coming through is Abraham. He keeps it in front. They've got the numbers around the ball here. Abraham across to Ridley. Open goal beckons and he gets it.
The second.
Dockers skip away.
Who would have thought of this? That they've got a margin now of 14 points, the Dockers, and their instinctive thing is to set it up with a handball first. He's thinking the handball, come back, there's the handball, and that's how they brought it down. The first reaction is a handball, trying to set up teammate and get the ball running, and they're doing very well at the moment. Ridley's second goal.
Todd Ridley 2 goals. Out of the Dockers tally of 3-3. 21 plays 7 at the MCG. Good start for the Dockers. Not a great bounce. Certainly favours Deer. Murillo a little bit too late with the attempted smother. Kick it goes down. Umpire says free kick advantage to the Tigers. Picked up by Gale. Too far out to score. But a long kick. Richardson. Yes! Great mark! I think he's beefed up over the summer a little bit.
Well, he's built himself up to 101 kilos, and it's muscle too, it's not fat.
I don't think his dad ever moved that quick or got that high.
Ever jumped as high.
Correct. Fremantle too late with the spoil, likewise Gilbert, and Richardson a chance for his first goal and the Tigers second. Distance not a problem. He got the goal. So Matthew Richardson, his first. And the Tigers come a little bit closer. 2-1 to 3-3.
Well, the 2 goals Richmond have come from their 2 big men, Gale and Richardson. They're the focal point, but the little men will have to get below the packs when these 2 big guys fly. You can see there Gale in front, Richardson coming over the back. Mann maybe showing a little bit too much latitude. There's Mann and Richardson. Not usually aggressive, Peter Mann.
Man's inhumanity to man. Up goes Burton, knocks it down, taken by Bond, who boots it towards half forward. Camped underneath of Chisholm, over the top Gale, it falls behind. Chisholm first back, with some time. Boots it towards the outer side wing. The big fellow has to go. Here's Burton. He's very agile for a man that size. Gets away from Campbell, if you don't mind. Kicks it down towards half forward, approaching the ball with spring. Burrows. He missed it though. Wigney across the body, clever kick. Campbell off one step, down towards half forward. Chisholm needs to go. David contest, that was enough. Richardson was on the lead. Kick at the short pass. Burton has been terrific. Across now to O'Reilly. O'Reilly stubs it about 15 metres. Gilbert sold into trouble. It's all Tigers behind the pack. Chance for Daffy across the body with the left foot, and I think he's missed. He has. A let off there for the Dockers. Very casual by Stephen O'Reilly. Nick Daffy with his side down by 7 points. Goal kickers so far for Richmond, their key forwards, Richardson and Gale. Richardson started last season in terrific form. 8 goals in the first game against Footscray.
O'Reilly gets the direction from the umpire to kick it out. Deere overruns it. Campbell again. Quick hand pass, a looping one to Knights. Over the head of Murillo. Gale from a standing start unloads with a long bomb. Edwards is down there. Is it out of bounds on the full? I think yes.
Well, they're going to be predictable, aren't they, Richmond, when they go to that forward line? Because they've got Edwards, you just saw contesting that mark, another big man. Throw in Gale and Richardson, and they're going to put the ball up high.
Gilbert to man. Rogers stands the mark. He's going to come across goal, and he's caught. Edwards has got him. Rogers off the ground, has missed. That's what you call, folks, a comedy of errors. Dear oh dear.
What was man thinking of?
Well,
the umpire was waving his arms about
I'm
here.
not quite sure, Dennis.
The umpire was waving his arms for ages, so obviously he was saying something as well. Lack of talking we'll put it down to, apart from the umpire.
Gilbert kicks in. This time it's a little bit better. Delaney. Long bomb to the outer side. He's looking at there for Leach. Quenton Leach. Claremont best and fairest in 94. And runner-up in the Sandover medal. And it's going to be a boundary throw.
Burton and Deere. Burton in front, gets it down. Campbell's got it now though, just forward of the wing, pushed off the kick, it was touched off the boot. Roderick in trouble, Murillo falling to the ground. Waters did brilliantly. Allen comes away nicely, his 8th possession. Past the centre, Abraham, one out with 3 and beat him. Abraham, little chip pass for space now. Who'll run onto this ball? Going back is Kickett, keeps it in front, brilliantly played. Bell will kick this.
But he's second.
He's a sharpshooter. 2 goals now to Peter Bell.
Best and fairest in his first season last year with South Fremantle. Peter Bell, there he is. Huge raps last year before the draft. A real opportunist up forward is Bell. So Miranda coming through, should have kept his eye on the ball maybe.
Great effort
Straight
from
at
Kickett. Superb hand pass that. Peter Bell getting his second goal, but the hand pass from Kickett was a real gem that set it up for him. Deere goes down, and there's going to be another bounce, 10 metres wide of the centre circle, with 5.5 minutes left in the opening term. A good quarter by the Dockers. They've shocked the Tigers a little bit, but as I said pre-match, don't underestimate them. Gerard Neesham, I think, will be pretty happy with their effort so far. No sign of nerves. Allen, well, he's certainly leading by example. Murillo from left centre wing. High kick. Turner and Ridley. Good punch away by the Tiger defender. Opens it up for Gale or Campbell. Delaney's there. Good shepherd off the ball. Gale's got him. Down he goes. The ball's out of bounds. Umpire says throw it in. Probably a good decision. Throw-in will take place on centre wing. It's favouring the Dockers side. Attacking side. Deere wins it. Delaney busy. Gale chases. I've got a hand to that as he kicked. Bell again. Good hand pass. Muir under pressure. Still he goes. Turner comes in to lend assistance and casually takes it over the line in front of his Docker opponent. It's out of bounds again, this time right on 50. So Fremantle working it around towards goal. Probably a little bit closer than that. Ridley gets the front posse. Back it comes to Turner. Good tackle by Bell. Board jarred free in the tackle. Bell gets a little bit of a nudge for his trouble, and there's going to be a bounce about 40 metres out from Fremantle's goal. 4.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Dockers off to a good start. They couldn't have hoped for better. Dia slaps it down. Turner goes for the boundary line, finds touch, and it's out of bounds outside.
Kick by Turner because Delaney was hovering. There he is, left the screen, Delaney, waiting for that big kick to come out. He was left unattended.
Just over 4 minutes till quarter time. Dia goes up and knocks it down. Campbell a half chance. Gale, quick hands away to the best and fairest for the Tigers last season. Bond floats it to the wing. Burton got hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Allen is going to get the free. He's been superb in this opening term. Told to play on. Now he's got some problems. Gave it straight away to Gale. Gale alongside the centre circle. Goes to half forward. O'Reilly worked out of it by Richardson. Naish quickly back to Richardson. Brilliantly done. He's on the 50. Little chip past Gale. Will need to stretch. It was going to be a relay free kick in any case, but Gale did the stretching, took the mark, and he's directly in front. So the younger of the Gale brothers, by about 18 months, has a chance to post the third goal for the Tigers, and they need it. So far, the Dockers just a little too quick.
Actually, the highlight of that play was the handball by Naish. Quick, reflexive handball. It was lightning across to Richardson, who in turn set it up to Gale. And they made a change. Edwards has gone off for Fremantle. Durkay coming on.
So Gale going in his second.
I think it was Muir might have gone off.
Yeah, Edwards is still out there, Don.
Yeah, Muir, I think it was Dennis.
Oh, well, there's a 1 in the number. Here's Gale. What's he done? He's missed.
Two, he's missed it.
Very interesting game this so far. The Tigers 2-4, the Dockers 4-3, so the margin 11 points. Clock running down towards quarter time.
Well, on paper it promised to be interesting, didn't it, Dennis?
Yeah. Not without a chance, Fremantle. They were betting 3.5, 4 to 1. Ridiculous odds.
O'Reilly. Well, that might be against man. He's shoved in fair square in the middle of the back. And Gale will take the free kick. Well, he's getting plenty of possessions, Benny Gale. Judging by his previous effort, too far out to score. Goes for the short pass. Edwards has got it.
And there's the other one. The other tall up on that forward line. Edwards.
Well, let's see if he can make a better fist of having a shot at goal. Good mark.
Unfortunately, the last couple of seasons he's had knee injuries pre-season. Here it is again, the build-up.
Yes, he's been around there for a while, hasn't he, Don?
Last couple of games, intra-club games have been good.
35 metres out, about a 45-degree angle. It'll need to come back. It doesn't. It might scrape in for a behind. It does. So Richmond missing with some opportunities up forward. Gale has got 1 goal, 2, and Edwards certainly missing what he should have kicked, leaving the difference at 10 points. 2-5 to 4-3 in the first quarter, and the sun tries to come out. This is Leach to bring the ball back into play. Very highly rated in Fremantle territory. Gale, will he pay the mark? Yes, he does.
It was a bit of a toss-up. Did Gale have first hands on the ball?
That was what I was asking. So left footer from Knights into the goal square. Plenty of tall Tiger timber there. Edwards has got this goal. So he'll be much relieved after missing the one earlier with, well, you'd say a shocker. 4-3 to 3-5.
Well, they had a lot of numbers flying for that ball. The ball coming from Knights. It was a good kick to the edge of the square. Richmond had the numbers. Maybe there the mark should have been taken because little did he know that he was by himself. But Edwards off the ground. His first.
Centre breaks even, 3 apiece. 4 points the difference. Dia goes up and thumps it down. All Tigers around the ball. Bond to Naish. They dig it out of the centre. Roderick's in front. Could have almost got a kick. It runs free behind. Edwards quickly away. Roderick almost missed the ball. Moved it by about 5 metres. Chisholm soccers off the ground towards half back. This is Campbell. Normally a pretty good kick. He goes from the 50 right to the square. Going back, O'Reilly concedes a behind. So suddenly the Dockers absorbing a little pressure. And I think the message there would be don't kick it near Gale. Keep it away from the big fellas. Find a runner. That's what he's looking for now.
There's not so many around when you say kick it away from the big fellows. They have got plenty of talls on the forward line. So he goes in short and he finds Peter Mann, formerly of North Melbourne. Edwards will stand the mark. Mann again in short, could be dangerous. Daffy was up high and going away is Leach. He'll need to go. He does. Kicks towards centre wing. Marking contest out there. Free has got it all. Gets taken too high. You would think. Abraham. Free again. Gets free. A little hand pass to himself. Some heavy shepherding off the ball. Kick it goes down from Maxfield. The ball out of bounds next to the interchange.
Two great shepherds from Maxfield there. Deserve better.
And they decide to go on with it. Maxfield and kick it.
Still practicing his shepherd.
What's the umpire going to do?
I think he's going to give a free kick.
He is.
We never saw that side of Dale kick it, the aggressive side, when he was playing with the other clubs, but he certainly let that come to the fore in a couple of games. Oh,
Burrows.
He's played for Fremantle.
Burrows right on 50, needs to bend it back. He's bent it back too much, gets plenty of distance with the kick. It's nearly there. And touched right on the line and through for a minor score to the Dockers. That was a pretty good kick.
He's a huge kick, Burrows. That was off about 2 steps across the body.
Bang. 3-6 to 4-4. Turner kicks in. Favours the outer side. Wigney doing well in defence. He marks in front of Burrows. Just ran out of legs there. And Wigney with the clearing kick.
Ill directed. Chisholm surrounded but had the best play on the ball and gets it across the line. That was a poor option. Rogers. It had to be long to him or short to Broderick. Boundary throw and outer side.
Oh, a lot of holding, boys.
It's slapped wide of the pack, as you saw. Broderick's got the run of it now to Knights, who's been pretty quiet. Dragged down. Murillo stood up in the tackle with strength. Allen very quickly on the boot. Well played. Going back 3, got a hand to it. Durkay knocks it inside the 50. Wigney should have gone at the ball. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going, I think, to Durkay right on the 50.
Why should he have gone for the ball?
Silly me, Don, sorry. I forgot I was with you. I thought it was a Brownlow medalist. So here's Durkay, about 55 metres out. Right on the siren. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Quarter time, and the Dockers getting the start they needed. They're right in this game of footy. You had the feeling that the Dockers probably would be tested, perhaps a little overawed in this quarter. Not the case. They've come out and they've looked terrific. And at quarter time, they're up by 4 points. They lead 4-4 to 3-6. And the Tigers, really, the side that took a while to settle down there. But you got the feeling about 3/4 of the way through the quarter that the Tigers were working their way on top. But then the Dockers have come again. So this is a most intriguing contest at the moment. The MCG. Not a bad crowd now. It's built up around the 20,000 mark, Don.
Yes, I was impressed with the Dockers, especially around midfield, Dennis, and a lot of those Richmond guys, I think, underestimated their opponents. Burton's doing well in the ruck, and as I mentioned, they're getting their drive. Murillo was good earlier. And at quarter time, the scores here at the MCG. Fremantle leading by 4, 4-4-28, Richmond 3-6-24.
Quarter time, and the Fremantle Dockers out by 4 points, 4-4 to 3-6. Goal scorers 2 apiece to Bell and Ridley, and for the Tigers, singles to Richardson, Edwards and Gale. Ben Allen, a superb opening term, 11 possessions. What about the big man, Matthew Burton? 5 kicks around the ground, so he's seen it. He's seen a bit of the ball, and kick it, 8 possessions. So the Dockers starting well. Some of the better individuals there. As we check around the league, there's Jared Neesham out at Waverley. Scores a level at quarter time. Fitzroy in trouble against the Bombers at the Western Oval. The Bombers expected to be big improvers this year, lead 5-7 to zip. We're missing Bernie, and I reckon in about a month's time he'll be missing us.
Geelong Melbourne also playing at Cardinia Park, but be a pretty interesting game, that one too.
Start of the second term. Very interesting opening to this game. Burton and Dia. Burton up very early. Dia at the second attempt. Down towards half forward. Kick it. Nicely done. Well tackled by Knights. Held it a long time. Naisha's got it now. Working it down towards the 50. Rogers going nowhere. Murillo comes away. His 7th possession. Got it across to Waters. That's holding the ball. It was a good strong tackle. And Bond, who started very well as well, talking about the stats for the Dockers, his 8th possession coming up. Inside the centre square, puts it high again. That's the name of the game.
Yes.
And Gale in front of O'Reilly.
Strong mark, Brendan Gale. Thought he ducked his head as he took that ball, but maybe waiting or anticipating the punch coming from O'Reilly to the back of the scone. Here it is. Oh, he did. Well, actually, he did cop one, so that's why the head went forward.
Laws of physics, Todd. There's Gale.
Don was there, he wouldn't have got up.
Sharp angle. He likes it off the boot. It slides across the face, though. Behind. So the margin now is 3 points the Dockers' way.
And Benny Gale has kicked 1 goal 3. And that's certainly the hardest shot he's had so far. 3-7 to 4-4. Gilbert. He'll go to the outer side. At the back is Richardson. In front is Deere. Around Murillo. Daffy on the lead. Marking in front of Edwards. Too far out to score. 60 to 70 metres from goal. Plenty of tools needed down there. Man underneath it. Good tackle by Gilbert. Edwards, a quick kick out of the congestion. Good talking there. Richardson wants to go, but he has to come back.
Not a clear advantage then, otherwise the umpire would have paid it Richmond's way. Because they certainly could have kicked a goal there had the umpire let play go on. But he deemed that Richmond weren't in an advantageous position.
Matthew Knight's only 2 possessions so far. Quiet first quarter, certainly by his standards.
How's Allen going, Pete? That's his immediate opponent.
Very busy in the first quarter, 7 and 4, Don. So you'd have to say he's well on top. He was certainly leading by example. Probably still will be. Knights' kick off target. So Richmond missing quite a few shots that they could have converted within range. And a minor score now to Matty Knights. 3-8. 11 effective scoring shots to 8. And the difference is still 2 points in favour of the Dockers. O'Reilly to bring the ball back into play. This time goes in short, and the mark is taken by Leach. Away he goes.
Close to the boundary line. Quenton Leach over the top. Terrible hand pass. Intended, I think, for Edwards. Well, it runs on. Knocked on by Chisholm. Waters put his body in. Daffy over the ball. Back comes Broderick. He's got great hands. He gives it away to Gale, who floats it well inside the 50. Rogers with the run. Juggled attempt at the mark. Couldn't hang on. Naish was upended. Gilbert at the base of that. And a bounce about 40 metres out from Richmond's attacking goal. Phil Gilbert. An interrupted pre-season. Gale with a run at this ball, comes strongly, knocks it down towards full forward. Rogers runs onto it, snaps. He's missed again. When I say again, Richmond have missed again.
What's his second point, Dennis? Matthew Rogers there, just had the run of the ball. Doesn't happen often when you see a gap run through and the ball goes your way, but Rogers was in that situation on that occasion.
Gale had a run of about 20 metres at that bounce. Trying to get a body between him and the ball somewhere. Otherwise, they were exposed behind. Here's O'Reilly with his hands full so far. Drives it towards the outer side. Gale goes up and takes the mark. I would imagine the runner goes out shortly to O'Reilly again. Meantime, Gale chips it across to Broderick. Just outside the 50. Broderick, the short pass to Campbell.
Playing real possession. There's another short on if he wants to give it to Naish. You should never turn your back on the play as Campbell did on that occasion, because Naish was in a position to take advantage, and it would have been a certain, well, I shouldn't say a certain goal, but he would have been in a better position than what Campbell is to kick this goal. But
Campbell is a thumping kick.
But not a very accurate one, Dennis.
You win again, Don. Right for the distance, and the scores are level. Well, it's great to be back working with you. The footy season again. 3-10 to 4-4. So O'Reilly, will he go short this time? Yes. Gilbert's got the ball. He'll come back to O'Reilly. Fraught with danger. O'Reilly has it up from the back pocket. 3-10-4-4. 13 scoring shots to 8. O'Reilly high to the wing. Allen, the meat and the sandwich there. Richardson came in from the side, right over the top.
They're a problem, aren't they, those big guys?
Yes, in more ways than one when they kick like that. Get your hopes up and then do that. The ball's bounced out of bounds, but yes, the marking is really hurting them. That's the Dockers. Richardson and Gale very strong overhead. 60 metres out, the throw in, one down by Burton. Knights ducked the head, comes away, hot hand pass. Daffy keeps it in front, well done. Nash, a sharpshooter, in trouble. Leach got him. This is Bond, settles, and that's out of bounds on the full, despite what the goal umpire says.
Correct. It was out by about 2 yards, that one.
No doubt in the world. We're right behind that. He wasn't.
Anyway, Bond's going to take it, and so are the Tigers. Gilbert looking for the footy.
Their efficiency rate not so good, Richmond, when going for goal.
3-11. You have a keen perception of the obvious, Don. They scatter like a shotgun blast. He's got in short, finding Delaney this time, Gilbert. Dockers can't get it past their half back line at the moment, it would seem. He gets around Edwards, but only just. Still he goes, Delaney. You have to get past Rogers. Oh, they've gone backwards. O'Reilly, Rogers has got him. He just dropped that ball. And the umpire says throw it in.
Well, in full fairness, the umpire, O'Reilly had his back to the umpire. He wouldn't have seen that.
Tiger fan saw it. They were just played on the board, and there was another roar. Nash spins out. Broderick looking for openings. Quick hand pass. Nash loves a goal. Good mark. Strong mark last line of defence. Saying, hey, I want some room. Edwards gives him the required 5 yards, 5 metres.
Quickly play it on. Allen's by himself.
Chisholm. Away he goes. They finally get it out of their defensive area. This is Edwards at right half back. Good kick. Clears the zone up towards midfield. That's as far as it's going. The sticky hands of Richardson in the road.
He plays on the big man. Little chip pass towards the middle. Nash on his chest alongside the centre circle. The sign suddenly not that good for the Dockers. Nash inside the 50. Rogers had it fisted away. Well done by Mann. Falls to Broderick. Hurried snap. How will it bounce? Good enough. Goal. Paul Broderick.
Well, Broderick showed on that occasion that he's not bad on the right foot. Normally a right foot kick, but in the first quarter he had a shot down in the right forward pocket and wasn't all that good at getting it onto his right foot. But that time, all set up again by Richardson. Here he is running onto it well, quickly onto that right foot. Really didn't look at goal. It was one of those hoping ones. But it found its mark.
Broderick gets the goal. Burton gets the punch away. Gale goes down. A quick kick hacked away by Bond. Marking contest at midfield. Broderick again. Tony free. Getting clear of Edwards, but only just. Daffy gives him backup support. Talking needed. Leach looks for support himself. Trying to find Durkay. Broderick. Leach has got him. Away goes Durkay now. Good long kick up towards the forward line. Ridley has it punched away by Turner. This is Bell. He's already kicked 2 goals. Tried for his skipper, couldn't find him. Away comes Whitney, and the Tigers are certainly looking a lot better now. I don't know what John Northey said at quarter time, but it's obviously paid dividends. Richardson, now Mann in the road, clear of Rogers. Burton, who's been terrific, gives it back to Delaney off the edge of the square. Delaney, the former Bomber, down towards left half forward. Burrows has got the mark, and here's a good kick.
It was a good kick from Delaney. Good play. Burton getting involved there. The quick reflexive hand pass.
Burrows right on 50. Dockers trailing by a goal, 4-11 to 4-4, 7 points to be precise. Well, he needs to draw that one round a mile. Ridley was the only one to really go for it, but didn't judge it well and threw for 1 behind. So that makes the difference. An even goal now here at the MCG. Burrows getting his first score, a minor one. 4-11 to 4-5, 29 to 35. Turner to bring it back.
One of 8 Tigers to play in every game last season. Turner, intelligent kick into the path of Kellaway, who did very well.
Great kick. That was a great kick, Dennis, because Kellaway really did give him a terrific lead. He was the only man loose.
Back across the ground, Campbell in space at half back, goes for distance down towards centre half forward. Gale surrounded. O'Reilly, a timely fist, roving the pack is Burton, gives it away to Durkay. Goes in short, good kick. Murillo's got it. So Murillo inside the centre square. Kicks out very wide now. Burrows marks. He's about 80 metres from goal. Need to settle just a bit, the Dockers. He goes for distance down towards full forward. Crummell fisted away by Turner. Miranda in trouble. It's locked in there and a ball up. Miranda, from a West Perth player, played 2 games last season. They have found a home in defence for the Tigers, marking Bell at the present time. Burrows, the big leap, close to the boundary line. Broderick couldn't control it, pushed across the line there by Kellaway, and it will be tossed in. Tigers are 4-11, the Dockers are 4-5. Dockers in attack. There's the mobile bench. Broderick coming through the pack. Wigney's got the ball. It's going to be a Richmond free. It will come back. And it will be taken by Kellaway down there. Kellaway just forward of the kickoff line. Real improver. Goes towards the outer side. Not a good kick. Edwards should have marked it. There, flicks it on. Well done. Free the hurried kick. Waters has got the run of it with his back to his own goal. Naish wanted it desperately. Abraham now couldn't control it. Daffy, quick hands to Naish.
One to Rogers, has to get clear quickly. Leach has got him. Got a little nudge in the back. Ball still in play. O'Reilly applies a tackle, but it is out of bounds, or is it going to be a ball up?
Peter, the boy at centre half forward, Burrows, very impressive. He bounces along the ground. He's got great athleticism, can play both ends of the ground. He's proving it's a terrific battle between he and Wigney at the moment.
O'Reilly nearly gets tripped up. Murillo telling him to go, which he does. He'll look for man. Over the top, Delaney on the burst at midfield. Richardson nearly gets him, the big fellow. Giant strides to reduce the gap. And going for the boundary line with the educated punch away as Duncan Kellaway. It will be a throw-in in the left forward pocket for the Fremantle Dockers. Good crowd here at the MCG now. Seeing an historic match. 6 points the difference, and we're about halfway through the second quarter. Turner with Burrows. Ridley over the top, completely misjudged it. Campbell went without it. Ridley looking for a free kick. It's going to be a ball up. Inside 50, about 40 metres from goal. Dockers yet to goal in the second quarter. In fact, they've only added one behind since quarter time. Turner goes at it. Burrows had it and then lost it. And Richmond are going to bring it away again. This is Gale. Gale's kick up towards midfield. Good mark taken by Richardson. I don't know where he's playing, but he's getting a lot of marks and a lot of kicks. Flips it out well. On the end of the hand passes Naish. Beautiful pass. Edwards takes it on the chest.
Well, Richardson's playing around midfield, Peter. I think he's playing really at centre half forward, but he comes right up there and the player's going across to congratulate him on that bit of play. Is that Scotty Waters coming off for the Fremantle side?
Norris coming on.
Norris on.
Edwards has already kicked one goal from close in. He missed from a similar distance in the first quarter. He sprayed it to the left. Let's see what he can do here. It's a wobbly punt kick. I thought cleared the line. It hasn't. Still in play. Leach. Man. Kick it. He will. It was touched off the boot though. Norris. Well, the umpire obviously didn't hear that, but it definitely was touched off the boot, and away goes Norris. Spears the pass up towards left centre wing, and the mark is taken by Durkay. Oh, Murillo read that really well. Ben Allen. Kick on the run across his body up towards half forward. Burrows was the target. Richmond had the numbers at the fall of the ball. Gale gives it away to Campbell on right centre wing.
Campbell doing very well now. 13 possessions towards half forward. Strong mark in front O'Reilly. The running players for the Tigers very prominent in the last half hour. Broderick has had 11 possessions. Bond 10. Waters off the ground, just 3. Durkay, unkind bounce behind. It's going to be a Tiger free. And Wigney filling in for Bullis, doing a good job at centre half back. As Don said, that's an entertaining duel. Richardson has been terrific, met by Chisholm. The ball goes across the line, so a boundary throw in.
The beauty about Richardson, there it is on screen, is the fact that he just doesn't rely on his high marking. He can run. He nearly ran a player down there through the centre square, chasing him. And he's got so many different facets to his game. Richardson, is great to see. He's been working on his recovery. It's probably the only weakness of his game.
Norrish, was he pushed in the back? Not according to the umpire. Here's Naish right on the 50. Broderick in trouble. Could have been taken high. Socket off the ground by Burton. Comes to Bond. I don't know that was his intention, but he's done very well. It's got to Daffy. I thought he was looking for Rogers down the ground, but it spilled across to the left there. As he saw it,
he had great vision.
Well,
if it was intended, Dennis.
Excellent vision.
Daffy, a player that has improved, but he really has got to become a regular in this Richmond side. Wearing number 10, made famous by Kevin Sheedy.
He kicks from 40, and I think he's got the goal. He has. Richmond increase their lead.
Well, in all credit to Richmond, they've really turned this game around, because halfway through the first quarter, the Fremantle side were really doing well, setting it up from, that's a great tackle, kick it there, great tackle. He didn't tackle him too high, but they've arrested that run that the Fremantle side did have in the first quarter, and now are starting to assert their ascendancy.
Five individual goal kickers for Richmond. Nick Daffy joining the club, 5-11 to 4-5. So the Dockers need something to get them going again. They started well in the first quarter. Ben Allen gets around his teammate Burton. Wigney, well, he's really shining in defence. Onto Deer. Unloads with a long bomb from 2 steps. Daffy. Leach. Now Edwards. Ball paddled out wide. Man, errant hand pass. Knights goes in. Leach has got him. The ball is shuffled out the front of the pack, and it's going to be a Dockers free kick. I think Leach will be the recipient. He will. They had any nerves initially. The Dockers have lost those, but they've also lost momentum. And maybe just a little bit of adrenaline.
Big leap.
Burrows got off the ground well, couldn't drag the mark in. Flipped away by Turner. Tacklers by Naish it was. Now the umpire's found a free kick. It's going the Dockers' way, and Burrows will take it. Right on centre wing. Deer on the mark. Tried too much for distance. Wobbles off the boot. Gale, good mark in front of Durkay. And gets it moving quickly. Naish again. Ridley's got him. Quick kick up towards midfield. Edwards has taken the mark. It may be a free downfield. It will be.
Oh, I think that was a bit tough on Ridley. He's appealing.
I must admit I didn't see what it was for, Don. So anyway, the kick is up towards half forward. Rogers away from Chisholm. It's bouncing. It's going close. It won't be a score. And Gilbert more than content to just let it go over the line in front of Edwards, where we will see a throw in 2 metres from the behind post.
Does that appealing work, Don?
5-11 to 4-5. Works more, I think, in summer, Dennis. We can still see the cricket pitches. Gale tries to use his strength. Broderick has it. Gale again. A little bit of off the ground work. Daffy, I think, has kicked it through for a behind. And one further behind to the Richmond score. Daffy's tally goes to 1-2, 5-12 to 4-5. Just over 6 minutes left in the half.
So the Dockers haven't booted a goal in this term. And this has been a problem bringing it in. Riley's got the ball at the moment, and where will he go? Very short to man. Not a lot gained by that. Kickett's on for another short pass. He ignores that and goes by hand to Delaney. Awkward one. He had to jump in the air to take it. Now he's got a problem. Through the middle he goes. Well, not good football. Gale comes away with the ball inside the centre square. Sends it back in. Edwards surrounded. The meat and the sandwich there. It's just underneath you, son. We'll have a bounce. Deep in the pocket.
Honest toiler is Phil Gilbert in that contest.
What about this bringing it in, Don?
Well,
wouldn't you make Burton your target? Just kick it high to him and hope he doesn't get out.
Position type game.
I know what they're doing, Don. Edwards to Daffy. Broderick Bounces it out of bounds in the opposite pocket. But the possession game at the moment is getting them into a fair degree of trouble in defence, isn't it?
Yes, they're having trouble getting it out of that zone. It's been in Richmond's forward line probably 65 to 70% of the time in this term. Dockers yet to score a goal. They look good in the first quarter. Oh, O'Reilly, that is finding touch. Can I borrow centimetre perfect?
Absolutely.
Burton with Deer. And to a certain extent, he's gone out of the game a little bit. Certainly set them alight in the first quarter, Burton. And defending desperately in the second so far, Fremantle. It's out of bounds again. Deer tries to get past his man Mountain, can't do so. Broderick scoops it out. Campbell.
Oh, that's a good tackle.
Dropping the ball, and Ben Allen will take the free kick. And I suppose it might be more to the point to say Allen has also gone out of the game in the second term. Now Mann on the breakaway. Chisholm at right centre wing. Daffy gives chase over the top. Edwards at right half forward. Norrish telling him to go long, and he does. Ridley is the target, can't take the mark. At the back is Callaway, giving him excellent support. The skipper, well, funny old kick from Tony. Didn't really do too much with that. Bell, who's kicked a couple of goals, had it, lost it. Daffy, umpire said he didn't have it. Free kick going to the Dockers. Too far out to score. Here's Bell, a real goal sneak. Callaway again. Now Ridley. Oh. Banana kick goes at goal. That looks pretty good. I think he's kicked it. He has. Great goal.
Beautiful goal. Todd Ridley.
His third.
Excellent, excellent. On the run, holding the ball across the body. Don't players do this so well? It's not a good kick here by Bell. Puts it out in front. Strong play there. It goes. Look at that. The way he held that body across the ball across the body. Good effort.
Just over 4 minutes till half-time. Knights gets it away. Rogers kicks well inside the 50. Looking for the height down there of Gale. It falls behind Chisholm. Boots to the boundary. And a throw in just inside the 50. Scott Chisholm. And every time the ball comes in high, you can feel that the Dockers supporters, not that there are many at the ground, but certainly back in Western Australia watching this, would be holding their breath. Edwards tried to get it across to Norrish. On his knees is Gale. Bond escorted across the line. Chris Bond, formerly with Carlton, has been a terrific pickup over the past couple of seasons for the Tigers. Man goes up and gets it down. Quickly on the boot from Bond. Floats it towards the kick-off line. Edwards could have almost got a free in front. It falls to Nash. He doesn't normally miss. That worked. Behind. He is a sharpshooter though. Chris Nash played in 22 games last season, scored at least 1 goal in 14 of them. Behind there stretches the margin to 8 points.
Groom's come on for Fremantle. He's gone to the forward pocket.
O'Reilly. And as Dennis pointed out earlier, this has been a problem in getting the ball back into play.
Dennis, they do that. They don't muck that kick up. It's a second or the third give on the back line that they have problem with. They've done that quite well.
Norrish's kick. Oh, he's gone for a bit of distance. Murillo dragged down. Might have been held almost too long in the tackle. Winston Abraham has it. Oh, he's not used to the MCG surface. He's lost it. Burton gives him back up
that's
support.
Terrific.
He gets poleaxed.
Burton, good effort.
Abraham again. And Wigney gets called to play on. Miranda got a decent old shove in the back. Away they go, the Dockers. Will that be a free kick? No, the umpire says play on it. Or was it out of bounds?
Yeah.
That was great play by Burton because he figured in play on the half-back flank, followed the ball down, then got the hand pass on.
Kick to Allen, actually.
That's interesting. I'm sure the boundary umpire was saying he was out of bounds.
That's what I thought, Dennis.
The central umpire is saying there was an infringement. He was taken too high, I think.
Murillo, there's that Murillo down on the boundary line. He's complaining about his jaw. He's been replaced by Waters.
Kick by Allen is not bad. One behind.
Being examined by the doctors, Murillo. Complaining about, there he is, complaining about his jaw. Might have copped one.
Comes from very good sporting stock. His dad Joe played for West Perth in the 60s and 70s. His mum Ellsma was a great netballer.
Edwards takes the mark. Too far out to score, 70 metres from goal. Gives it a decent old heave-ho. Groom in front. Good mark to Campbell again. He's off. Oh. He's almost caught. He is caught, and it's a rush behind.
The coaches would hate that. That is the ultimate in giving away a score, isn't it? You've actually marked the ball and you force it behind. Bit tough, that call. Did he play on, Don?
I don't think so, Dennis.
Good enough for me. Turner kicks in. Wigney slides, takes the mark on his chest.
I'm impressed with Wigney.
Free kicks, 13 to the Dockers, 12 to the Tigers. Wigney, right half back, short. Gale has to stretch, and he's taken this mark. Approaching half time, just over 2 minutes now. 6 points the margin. Gale goes across the ground. Allen comes hard, did well. Bond recovered nicely though. On the ground, he chips it down towards half forward, and Rogers, he takes it, hits the ground running, pulls it back towards the middle, needs a fist, timely one from Mann. Kickett's in trouble.
Well done, Naish.
Dragged down, held it a long time. It was well done by Naish, forcing the error. And now Knight has taken the mark.
That's why forwards have got to work. And Naish did on that occasion, because you can cause a turnover. That was terrific play by Naish to follow his work up.
So Knight's directly in front.
He was a little bit close when he went for his last kick. He kicked a point a little close to the man on the mark. Let's see what he does with this one.
This for a lead of 12 points. He kicks just inside the 50. Has it got the carry? Marked right on the line by Richmond. Well, it wasn't a good kick. It came in at about head height. And Knight's just going through it all again, but Edwards has the ball up ahead at point-blank range. This must be a goal.
It's a Cardinals, and you've got to stay in front, don't you, on the back line?
Edwards puts it through. That's his second.
Edwards coming off the ground. And here he is on screen taking the mark, but now he's being replaced by Tape. So it's an interesting move.
Edwards, the first Richmond player today to kick more than one goal, and both of them coming from a similar distance. The first in the opening quarter, which he kicked virtually off the ground. And
now let's just,
that strong
sorry,
mark.
Pete, just watch what Greg Deere does. Whether he comes across this, yeah, see, he does that. He's trying to take Burton's run. You see what he's doing. Starts on that one side and comes across that line to try and cut Burton out of the game.
Holding the man was the decision. Richmond free kick. Tiger fans rejoicing in Chris Naish taking the ball. Free kicks, though, as Dennis pointed out moments back, pretty even. Well, should have taken that, Richardson. It's easy to say that from here. Chisholm, O'Reilly, Delaney. Delaney's been busy, mainly in the first quarter. This is Muir. Delaney again, as I said, busy. Campbell late on the scene. Dockers would love a goal before half-time. We've only got 18 seconds left. They'll have to get it moving quickly. Need a strong mark somewhere in the goal. Will Ridley take it? No, he won't. Better judgment from Turner. Although Ridley has kicked 3 goals, Scott Turner from right half-back will land it at centre wing. Gale, the strong mitts go up. Norris overruns the ball, fisted away by Mann. There's the siren for half-time. And Benny Gale practising his American football throw.
Do you think that was a throw of frustration at the umpire?
Gives it back. Well, Ridley's their leading goal kicker. He has 3-1. They only have one other goal kicker, Peter Bell, and he got 2 in the first quarter. So not a very productive term, Dennis, the second one for them. Richmond seemed to have well, tightened up a little bit, didn't they? Yeah,
their runners came into it, Richmond, particularly early in the term. The Dockers got back on terms a little bit later, but they trailed by 12 points. It could have been worse. I mean, Richmond's accuracy hasn't been terrific. There's John Northey. Took Melbourne to the finals, what, 5 times? Needs to start with a win and reverse what's become a tradition at Punt Road. Getting off to a bad start, that's right. Back to 82. Jared Neesham has reason to be pleased, I think. They've been competitive half-time. The Tigers lead by 12 points, 6-13 to 5-7. Half-time at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and the Tigers lead it by 12 points after they trailed by 4 points at quarter time. Checking the goal scorers, Stuart Edwards off the ground late in that term has got 2, and singles to Daffy, Richardson, Broderick and Gale. That's Brendan Gale. And for the Dockers, 3 to Todd Ridley and 2 to Peter Bell. Don Scott is with me, and Don, what about that first half? I enjoyed that. The Dockers, a breath of fresh air, particularly early.
Yeah, first half of the first quarter, I thought they were good, Dennis. Fairly even. Richmond came back. It was interesting that the Dockers had 8 shots for goal in that first half, whereas Richmond had 9. But then in the second quarter, Richmond really did assert their ascendancy. They tightened up, and in actual fact, they had 10 shots for goal, Richmond, whereas the Dockers only had the 4. But they've got that three-prong attack. I only mentioned 2. Well, yes, I only mentioned 2 early, and that was Gale.
Tough to combat because they're generally trying to do the right thing. They punch away. A couple of times they tried to mark from behind, but they've learnt their lesson now. But still, when those guys are so good in the air.
Well, they're big, and their third one was Edwards. He was taken off the ground just before half-time, replaced by Tate. But they're a big marking side, especially up on the forward line. The little fellows have got to, I suppose, do a little bit more, get underneath the pack, because the opposition are going to bring the ball to ground. And here's Bell. This is the first quarter. Matthew Knight's a little loose on Ben Allen, but whether he tightened up or Allen went out of the game the second quarter, I don't know. But Allen wasn't as productive. But then again, a lot of other Dockers weren't as productive in the second quarter. There's Broderick, his right foot, normally a left foot kick. A very good player last year. Came from this is his second year. Came from Fitzroy. And would have led the best and fairest. I think he came second in the best and fairest at Richmond, but early on he was fantastic last year. Probably not carrying on as well as he did now. Daffy, much improved player, but he's got to become a regular player this year, Nick Daffy.
Any of the new boys caught your eyes so far as we take a look at these stats? Explain those to me, Don.
Well,
you've got the mathematical equation, so explain it.
Well, I haven't got the centre of
inside 50, very even.
Yes, you can see the efficiency as far as taking out. It's taking into account the centre head outs, going to a rover, then being cleared out of the. So if the fellow in the same side takes the hit out, gets it to his teammate, then they take it out of the centre. That's how it's calculated, Dennis. So you can see there that the efficiency rate of Richmond in the centre is 42 to 33. So that's where the game starts.
That was terrific. Bernie is going to remember his first game. Bernie Quenton, coach of Fitzroy. They haven't scored to half-time. And Essendon are 7-12. So Essendon getting a start. I thought it may have been the breeze in that first quarter at the Western Oval. 5-7 to nothing. And then in the second term, they've added a further 2 goals 5. So the Lions still to score in that game at the Western Oval. We'll be back with more from the Melbourne Cricket Ground right after this break. Now Russell Morris is down on the boundary. What did you make of the first half, Russ?
Well, it was quite interesting, Dennis. I think Fremantle in the first half obviously threw everything at Richmond. I think they were a bit spellbound, actually. Got second to the ball. Fremantle had more numbers around the packs, but then I noticed Johnny Northey at quarter time gave Richmond a bit of a spray and told them really to put their heads in, and the members here gave Richmond a bit of a serve as Northey and the match committee walked down the stairs telling them, get Richmond to have a go and all that. I think Neesham could be generally very happy with so far. I mean, the Dockers sort of made a bit of a liar of me because they've done very well, and especially guys like Burrows across half forward line. But I think I've got a bit of a theory, Dennis. You're talking about Gale and Richardson, how Richardson was playing across the half forward line. Richo, the way he was chasing the ball then, I think he's a lot fitter than Gale. Gale might be a bit underdone, and also Richardson's record at kicking for goal last year wasn't all that good, so maybe they're keeping away from goals, so get the ball more and then put it down to the goal square to Gale. So who knows what Northey may be thinking there.
Yeah, thanks, Russ. Any news on Jamie Murillo's jaw close to half-time?
I spoke to Jared McNeil, the football manager, and he said, look, they're checking it at half-time. They had ice on it. It might be just a bit of a knock, but it's just precautionary at the moment. So we'll see as soon as they run out, he may be back on, but I'll find out more later on in the third quarter.
Put you to the test here. You're expecting the Tigers to pull away in the second half, are you?
Well, you'd expect so. I think, as you noticed, the Knights lifted and Broderick and these guys lifted a little, and they were sort of had more numbers around the ball, so you'd expect that to happen. But Fremantle, hopefully, they might make a liar of me.
Nice tie. Jared Neesham. I would imagine the club tie.
It is the official club tie, isn't it?
Yep. Neesham, who played under Ricky Quaid briefly with the Sydney Swans, I think played.
5 games, was it? Or thereabouts?
Might have been a couple more, but what, back in the early 80s? Ben Allen, very good first half.
11-4 for Allen. This was that controversial one. Was he out of bounds? He appeared to be out earlier before that tackle was applied.
Well, the thing is, I think, if I understand the rule correctly, if the boundary umpire doesn't get to the central umpire in time, the kick must stand.
Just watch Deer on this occasion. Sorry, Dennis, but just watch Deer on this occasion as the ball's bounced down. Oh, didn't favour, more or less favoured him, but
he knocked it down. This is Abraham. So the Dockers, who went well to this end at the start of the game, are thwarted by Miranda. Up from the back pocket, he kicks it very high towards the wing. Edwards, who started very well, knocks it away from Maxfield. Allen in front, head over the ball, lost it. Broderick's hand pass clever. Daffy's away, forward of the wing. Run down from behind by Edwards. Now a quick turnaround opportunity for the Dockers. Allen got it from Delaney. Across it comes to Chisholm. Interesting kick to half forward. Kickett played it very well, and he's paid the mark. Oh,
good use of the body.
Quick whistle. So Kickett could put it close from here. Waters is on for a short one. Waters meters in the clear. That's ignored, at least initially. So Kickett fancies his chances to do exactly that. 5 clubs, not bad going. Oh, it's a shocking kick. It wobbles down to full forward, and the mark is held by Chris Groom about 5 metres out. And he's a very interesting story, playing only his 13th game. His first for the Dockers. He made his league debut against the Tigers in '93, and here he is, his second debut, if you like, against the Tigers again. An early goal for the Dockers.
Well, that's just what they wanted to start the second half. 6-7 to 6-13, so the difference remains at 1 goal now. Kickett, good endeavour to get the ball, certainly favoured by the whistle. Wobbly punt kick, strong grab over the top of Kellaway, and he got one on his nose for his trouble. Hasn't really been conspicuous today, Groom.
Just been off the bench, but we'll watch what Deer does on this occasion. I've mentioned the fact that he's running along the centre line and not really getting off the ground, but taking the run of Burton, negating Burton. He's done it again. Well done, Deer.
Edwards nearly caught. Quick hand pass. Doesn't bounce kindly for Allen. He finally picks it up well. Chisholm inside the square. A high bomb underneath at Maxfield. Big Burton gives it away. Delaney loves a run. He's been penalised once already for running too far. That's a great long kick, and off the hands of the pack for a rush behind to the Fremantle Dockers. So more endeavour displayed by Fremantle early in the third quarter, reducing the deficit now to 5 points. Turner kicks in, again favouring the outer side. Good long kick. He's only got Bond there. The numbers are with the Dockers. A chance for them now as it's picked up by Abraham. He spears the pass in, tried to find Groom, couldn't do so. The Tigers defence standing firm. Underneath it though is Scotty Waters. He takes the mark. Had a stint on the bench late in the second quarter, at which I must admit I was surprised. Ridley, good mark.
Good mark. There weren't too many options on. Everything was covered down forward, and that was good by Waters to pick Ridley out.
Only 3 goal kickers today, and 3 goals against the name of Todd Ridley. 3-1 to be precise. That man there, Craig Burrows, has been impressive across half forward. That's not a good kick. Miranda goes for the punch and succeeds in finding a handy policeman right on the boundary line. It will be thrown in 10 metres from the behind post.
It's a kick. I'm often amazed at professional footballers not being able to do that drop or the torpedo punt from distance, and he tried that, Ridley, but just never got onto it.
Jamie Murillo looking on. Meantime, Broderick tries to get it across to support. Free Sockers off the ground towards centre half back. Edwards under the pump. Knocked forward by Broderick. Soccer attempt there by Maxfield. Gained about 5 metres. Maxfield comes again. He likes that. Bond is dragged down. Ball is still in there. Delaney's got it, and he's got company. And the bounce about 10 metres. The attacking side of the centre circle for the Dockers, who have started well in this third term.
Greg Deer limping too, the big fellow, number 14 for Richmond.
They like going left to right. Is that port or starboard, Pete? Dragged down his Knights. Over the ball is Edwards, and a whistle. Maxfield. Yes, well, Fremantle 200-1 to win the pennant. Richmond 33-1 to go all the way. Allen out of mid-air. But the odds, I think, much closer together on the result of this game now than they were when the game started. Waters in trouble. Intercepted by Broderick. Does nicely. This is Gale. Gale across to Campbell. 60 metres out from goal. Campbell. Some indecision. The kick not particularly good as a result. Big leap from behind by Naish. Gilbert's over the ball. Gale tries to get it out somehow. Falling on top of it, Richardson. And from the seated position tries to kick a goal.
When players down the ground do the unpredictable, which Campbell did on that occasion, it really catches the forwards out because the forwards have made their position, but then Campbell dropped in a quick bounce. They were all out of position. There was nothing offering on that occasion.
Burton. Oh, he's got into the back of his opponent. That's a real technical one, that. What did you think, Don?
Well, there was one earlier, Peter, where they were both holding in the centre and it just wasn't picked up. But watch this. Gale in front, the hand on the shoulder. But,
gee, that's
soft.
tough.
But then again, you've got to get in front if there's a bounce down. And you should know that. He's played all his life in the ruck, Burton.
Technically correct, but pretty soft. Gale kicks the goal. And Brendan Gale gets his second. He's kicked 2 goals, 3. And that was just what Gerard Neesham didn't want at this stage of the third term. 7-13 to 6-8.
There's the offender on screen, and we watch it once again. He should have got in. You can't afford to do what he did on that occasion and be caught behind. He's given away the free kick, but then again, the umpires should be more consistent in those decisions.
$11 points the difference now. And after that gimme goal to Brendan Gale, Dockers go forward again. This is Abraham, shoots the hand pass up towards half forward. Burrows right on 50. But Turner, Richmond defence standing firm on the burst. Another bounce. Strong shepherd behind play. Richmond player went down. Turner's kick landing mid or centre wing. Now Leach, who nearly got tripped up, did in the end, recovers brilliantly. Fires out the hand pass. And the Dockers go forward through Mann. His kick up towards half forward. Marking contest. Kellaway goes off the ground. Kicks it up towards Delaney. Good hand pass. Waters, you'll have to be quick, son. He is.
Good mark.
No, the umpire didn't pay it. Well, plenty of hands on it, Don. So I suppose in the end a good decision. And it will be a bounce 35 metres out directly in front of goal. Dockers going from left to right. Richmond 7-13, Fremantle 6-8. Dockers did well in the first quarter. Richmond came back in the second. Deer in front, Ridley behind. Free, tries to trap it underneath. Ridley applies a tackle, and once again the umpire will ball it up almost in the identical position. Some trying to break through after a very cold 10 days in March, but the start of April, quite pleasant conditions now here at the G. So another bounce. Dockers in attack. Deer, as Don said, was limping a little while back, but seems to be okay now. Bounce number 3.
Yes, I don't know why, Greg, you're not getting the free kick, because there you can see appealing to the umpire for push out. Now Ridley pushed him in the back on that last occasion. But I think these ruck infringements have got to really be cleaned up by the umpires.
13.5 minutes till 3/4 time. Deer gets it down. Free was taken high. Tony Free. Good to see him back. Up from the back pocket. Feisty customer. Boots it high towards the wing. Burton in best position. Richardson had the run. Burton. It's a good strong grab. Burton plays on. No one standing the mark. Kicks well inside the 50. Ridley, a big leap down there. Fingertips to it. Couldn't hang on. In fact, it was Muir, the leaper. Ridley was on the ground. Free. Comes away. Rather untidy hand pass. Kellaway back to Free. They worked it well. Free boots towards the wing. Leach worked out and will get the free kick.
James Daffy.
So Leach has been solid on the wing. Goes down towards half forward. Well weighted kick. Ridley got hands to it. Knights came back hard on him.
It's a free kick.
Yes. Knights needed to look back at the ball, at least on one occasion. He didn't do that. Ridley, a centering kick. Muir from behind, knocks it down in front. Kick it. Well, that was ambitious. Hand pass from Gale to Campbell. Campbell runs away. Boots it towards the outer side wing. Chisholm was the man in front. It runs free behind he and Rogers. Rogers leads back in the race. Chisholm gave a contest. This is Gale. Outside the half-forward line, about 75 metres from goal. Comes back with the left boot. towards full forward. Getting up was Tate, finds it on the ground, tackle. The hand pass not particularly good. Richardson was claimed. Gilbert goes in. Norris quick hands away to Mann. Boots towards the outer side. Gale again takes the mark and centres to Deer.
Deer on the run. Oh, it's a good drop punt. Mann has the sit. That'll be a goal. Tate. Read it beautifully off the pack. And Richmond's 8th goal, 8-13, 61 to 6-8, 44.
And Richardson appealing to the umpire, but this is what the Richmond small fellows have got to do because they are predictable. They'll send it high as they've done there, looking for the big man. Richardson goes up. And there is Tate. I don't know why Richardson was complaining, but he roved it well, Tate.
Goal to Jamie Tate. He started on the bench this afternoon for the Tigers. Delaney on the run, on the edge of the square. Tackle is by Free. The two number 30s tangle. Muir overruns the ball. Opportunity for Burrows across his body, and one behind or out of bounds. It's out of bounds on the full. Turner will take the free kick for Richmond in the left back pocket. 8-13 to 6-8. 61 plays 44. And the Dockers learning what AFL is all about. Deer and Burton. Broderick leaves it for Deer from a standing start. Kicks to centre wing.
There's holding.
Contest out there, and it's going to be a free kick to be taken for the Tigers by Naish.
Against Norwich.
15 to 17 the free kicks. 2 in favour of the Dockers. Chisholm, good mark. You pay that, yes, at centre half back, and he will take the kick.
He's got players on his left if he wants them.
He's been handy. Chisholm. A little bit handy there as well. And Gale's not happy. Meantime, Richmond have got the ball on the outer side. This is Bond. Well, the crowd enjoying this.
Too slow. There's Richardson by himself. My word, you don't know what Chris Bond's thinking, but he had leads.
Goes very high. Got plenty of Tigers around the ball. Off hands. Abraham clears the zone. Back towards the outer side. Awkward bounce. Gale leaping in the air. Got a boot to it. That was enough. Broderick. Well, he went for the big man. Deer did nicely, knocked it across to Knights. This is Broderick again inside the centre square. Goes long down towards the pocket. Tate, who kicked the last goal, was up, got a hand to it. It runs on and goes out of bounds. The crowd not happy with the umpires this afternoon. Tigers lead 8-13 to 6-8. But I think they're a little frustrated too, these Tiger supporters, by the opposition they've run into. No easy beats, at least so far. Dropping the ball, Broderick, tackled by Allen, comes across towards Delaney. He's fleet of foot, still he goes. Delaney, a couple of bounces, flips it over the top, sending Leach away. Leach runs it out towards right half back, sends it back towards Delaney, needs it to sit for him, it did. Delaney arches the back, runs from half back, kicks to half forward. Muir out of position, has to be a Gale free kick. The shorter of the Gales. Advantage is paid, Deer comes away.
And moving pretty well for a big man. Oh, mark, free kick, whatever to Richardson. Might even be 50. No.
Gutsy mark.
It was a gutsy mark. A millisecond later, he would have been right back near the goals. Richardson kicks to Gale, who's marked just about everything today except the grandstand roof. Norwich was in trouble. Kick away by O'Reilly. Will it get to the boundary? It stops and it just hobbles over the line. 65 metres out. The crowd certainly getting their money's worth. A bigger crowd, I think, than expected, because I was told that they sold out a footy record about 1:30 this afternoon. Norwich, who started on the bench. O'Reilly.
Good smother.
Good smother by Broderick. Naish. Free kick, Fremantle. This is Chisholm. Chisholm kicks out wide. Badly weighted kick. Campbell underneath it. Campbell, a good kick. Distance might test him. Gone for the big torp. And touched right on the line by O'Reilly, who helped it on its way for a rush behind.
On 2 occasions, I stand to be corrected, but when he's got the ball, Chisholm at centre half back, on 2 occasions he's turned it over in the last 5 minutes.
8.5 minutes left in the third term. It's been an eventful one. O'Reilly to bring the ball back into play.
Edwards up ahead. They need to break the shackles here, the Dockers, and go down the ground and score. the present time, Richmond doing all the attacking. O'Reilly goes for distance. Burton's the target, outnumbered, gets it on the ground. Well, all Tigers around him. Bond did the roving, gets it to Campbell, who can kick it a long way. He goes from 60, hasn't got the carry, not quite. O'Reilly gets back, body to body with Gale. Kind of behind. Well, not on the same page there. If they're going to kick it high and long to Burton, it can't be 4-on-1 with 3 of them on the deck. To get some runners alongside the big man. There's Allen. Tape setting a little pick there. There's the short one. Leach wasn't watching. It's a very inexact science at the moment getting it in. Rogers over the top. Leach with courage. Still working as Daffy. That's an interesting hand pass. Knights is dragged down. Loose ball. Daffy goes again. Dragged off it by Delaney. In goes Leach. It's not pretty. Bond is tackled by Waters. And it bounced. Well, what about the hand pass? Right in front of the umpire.
If you don't mind umpire.
If you don't mind.
I think on the wrong side of him. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Naish went without the footy. Snapshot by Broderick. Off target. Maxfield underneath it. Haven't seen too much of him this afternoon. Only his 4th kick, if in fact he is to kick it. It's just about in the old dressing rooms. But they have been kicked from there before. Big pack. Gilbert gives it away. Dockers running around in circles. That was Ridley.
Free kick now.
The umpires played the advantage. O'Reilly gets past Delaney. Still he goes. Now they've cleared the zone. Long kick inside 50. Burrows pays the penalty for playing behind his man, and the Tigers will run it out of defence again. This is Wigney, who was brilliant in the first quarter. Good strong shepherd by Maxfield. The kick up towards left half forward. The Dockers have the numbers, but the rebound goes the Tigers' way. This is Gale. Gale in towards full forward. Marking contest again. Richardson behind. A fresh air shot. Still he goes. The tackle is by Mann. Now a goal. Daffy.
Well, there was some desperate play up there as Nick Daffy finally got his foot to ball, his 2nd goal. It was Richardson desperately trying to capitalise, but the backs were equal to the task. The high ball coming here from Gale. Did well, Gale. Had 2 opponents to beat. One would have thought that Richardson had to sit then on Mann, but that was a great tackle by Chisholm. Ball still another good effort by Mann, and Chisholm looking to the umpire. Maybe he shouldn't have looked.
Margin 25 points. Waters off the ground again. Durkee is back on. So testing time now for Fremantle. They need the next goal. Deer, he's got other ideas. Knocks it the Tigers' way. Knights hasn't got the ball. Down goes Allen. Met solidly by Richardson. Well, I don't know.
Knights could have got that, Dennis.
Certainly. Allen from half back towards half forward. Kickett's got the run of it in space. They need to make something of this. Clock is down to 6.5 minutes remaining in the term. Kickett, little chip pass inside the 50, and Groom's taken the mark. It'll take a good kick from here. He has 1 goal already early in this term, virtually in the first minute of the 3rd quarter. Chris Groom. 9:15, 6-8. They'll contest about 5 metres out. Ridley was up, through his fingertips. Burrows behind, easy goal. And a timely one.
His first, Craig Burrows. John Northey on screen directing.
Well, badly needed one for the Dockers there.
The high ball coming from Groom, the pack fly, and there's only one staying down behind, and that's Burrows. Kind of reels it in with a right, and then the same motion lets fly on the turn, and kicks his first. But Deer certainly lifted his work rate in the centre there.
19 points. The Dockers certainly not out of it, but they have been under siege. 9:15 by the Tigers. Free kicks 18 to Richmond, and the Dockers 17. So they have been shared. And again, Deer, as Don pointed out, running in from the side. Bounce favours Burton. Too tall, gives it away. Kick it. Does just that. Too short. Delaney He's been impressive. Straight down the spine of the ground, kicks towards half forward. The defence of Richmond has been excellent. Miranda, he'll go for the boundary line and gets a little helping hand from Bell. Umpire says throw it in.
Delaney a better player, Peter, when he does the first thing. On that occasion, he got the ball, put it down long into the forward line. If he thinks about his second option, he usually gets into trouble.
Free, tried to snare it. So too did Waters. Now Burrows. Centering kick, Gale. Oh. Can he get back trouble? He can't. His opposite number 3 will rush it through from behind. And that's Duncan Kellaway. And so another rush behind to the Dockers. Goal there would have been real handy. 9-15 to 7-9. And so the difference is 3 even goals. Gale to bring it back. That's Michael Gale. Earlier in his league career at Fitzroy, of course. Behind Bond. Did well to work the ball to the front of the pack. Best and fairest last year. Durkay tries to paddle it forward. The long and the short of it there was Burton. Out it comes to Daffy. Daffy's kick up towards midfield. Important ball to win this. Rogers has the run, then lost it. Broderick, yes it is Broderick. Leach intercepting well. Runner up in the Sandover medal last year. Still he goes. A high ball. Inside 50. Gale again claims the mark over Crummell. And is that going to be 50? Yes it is, against Bell. And so he will take the free kick round about the centre wing position.
So the 50 stepped out. Michael Gale played over 100 games with the Lions. Kick across half forward. Gale coming up from goal to Daffy. The hurried kick. They've got the numbers. Rogers will need to go. Misses the mark. Gilbert gave a contest and again well played. It was 2-on-1 initially. Great tackle, Rogers. Keen to make amends. And the umpire says Rogers held it to kick it.
Well,
that was a strong tackle.
My word, he had to make amends though, Dennis. That was an easy chest mark. He let come off his chest. Should have taken it, but what a great tackle. Here it is. Watch. Oh,
Body slam.
Campbell. That ball bounced towards him. Abraham in trouble.
As he let the run umpire.
Good call, Don. So Bond's got this free. Down towards half forward. 9-15, 7-9. Sets it up for Richardson. Almost interference. Kick it running directly at him. Mann's got the ball close to the line. Kicks it around the outer side flank. Strong mark once more to Gale. Well, remarkable game in as much as two contrasting patterns. Here's Campbell. All about marking as far as the Tigers are concerned. All about running as far as the Dockers are concerned. Edwards has got the free kick. Scott Edwards, one of 13 former Claremont players, named in the 24 on Thursday. There's another. Chances are they'll be kicking it to each other. This is Allen. Big afternoon from him. Great start. His 20th possession towards midfield. Ridley up very early. Knights didn't have the ball. He'll get the free kick.
Matthew Knight's at midfield. Quiet afternoon as we look at those stats. Only coming up for his 4th kick. Good mark. Good take. And a quick hand pass to Maxfield on the burst. He gets flattened after he kicked the ball. It'll be downfield. So you can't argue with that decision.
Well, I might. I'd like to see it again.
A bit late, Dennis.
Was it? All right.
that was Leach, the offender. There's the kick, and the ball had gone. You can't do that after the ball's gone. It's a relayed free kick. And especially if you're backman, you can't do it when the opposition's kicking for goal.
So Matthew Richardson will have a shot at his second goal. He really would have to fall over to miss it. He gets the goal. So 4 Richmond players have now kicked 2, namely Brendan Gale, Stuart Edwards, Richardson and Nick Daffy. 10-15 75 to 7-9 51.
And there is the offender on screen as we watch once again Maxfield getting rid of the ball very, very late. When the opposition's kicking towards goal, you cannot afford to do it.
The margin is 24 points. And they gave away some silly free kicks against St Kilda in game 1 of the Answered Australia Cup, the Dockers, that resulted in goals and penalties down the ground. Allen out of the middle. They can ill afford that now. It's a tight game. They still have a chance to win, but certainly Richmond looking the better side. And was that a throw call? No. Campbell goes on. The players virtually stopped out there. Campbell boots it through the wing towards half forward. Richardson's in front. Well played by Rogers. Quickly onto the boot. Gets it down towards the 50. Leach comes back deep in his own defensive area. That's interesting. Across the face. O'Reilly stood his ground and played it pretty well. And again O'Reilly. Kickett's on for the hand pass, but O'Reilly elects to run. Now he gives it to Kickett. He goes back through 4 Richmond players and boots it down towards half forward. Crummell worked out of position again. Almost the mark to Gale. Play goes on. Little toe poke off the ground by Free. Down goes Maxfield. And as you can see, 4 Dockers around him. And a bounce about 60 metres out from Fremantle's attacking goal. And we're down to a minute and a half remaining in this third term. The margin was 12 points at half-time.
Why doesn't he clean those up?
Durkhe's hand pass not particularly good. Knights against the flow did brilliantly. Knights towards half forward.
Knights coming into his own in the third quarter. Broderick, if he can get clear of Leach, who's wearing him like a glove. Leach comes out with the football, well played. Good shepherd applied by Chisholm. And a little chip pass across his body, out of bounds. A little bit too slick down there for Scott Edwards, so it will be thrown in at left half forward for Richmond as the clock ticks down to three-quarter time. Under a minute left in the third term now. Burton palms it down, looking for Delaney. As I said, Knights coming into his own. Maxfield clear of Edwards. A centering kick, marking contest in front of Gale. Gale looks for a free kick. It's going against him and to Gilbert, I think. Yes, Gilbert's going to take the free. Umpire indicating his jersey was being held. Phil Gilbert looking the worse for wear.
He looks a worrier, doesn't he?
He does. Now, half forward, Campbell. Oh, Burrows out there.
Well, Gilbert picked the wrong option then, going out long. Delaney, who's now in the contest, gets a free kick. Was the option. It was on. And let's see, he's hurt himself, Delaney.
What's the kick for?
Still trying to work that out, holding the ball.
No, I don't think he made an attempt to get rid of it.
I think it came later.
Burton in front. Can't take the mark. Richmond players are plenty. An ambush of Tigers. Comes out to Whitney. As the siren goes for three-quarter time, with Richmond leading 10-15-75 to Fremantle 7-9-51.
Bad sign for the Dockers there.
Just a bit of cramp.
Yeah, it's cramped up. Very soft going here at the MCG compared to what the Dockers would be used to back home in Perth. Got a harder surface, and this does sap those leg muscles. Knights, who started to get a few more possessions late in the term, but you get the feeling that perhaps Richmond has broken the resistance of the Fremantle side.
More physical strength, isn't it? The strength, and they're much bigger side, Richmond. It was evident before the ball was bounced.
Well, those big fellows still, and there's one of them, creating problems, and they attract people, don't they? Dockers see the ball coming in high, man on man, but suddenly the Docker defender on the ground feels obliged to go to the pack and try and spoil as well. It creates problems on the deck. Scotty Waters has had a dark day. It's three-quarter time at the MCG, and Richmond 10-15 lead Fremantle 7-9. The margin now 24 points at three-quarter time, with the Tigers 10-15, the Dockers 7-9. Checking the goal scorers for Richmond. The major goal scorers, Daffy, Richardson, Edwards and Brendan Gale all have 2. And for the Dockers, Ridley has 3 and Bell has 2. Should be a good replay too. Gary Ablett's got 5 goals in that game. It's a tight one. That gives Ablett a career total of 836, one ahead of Doug Wade as we go down to Russell.
Yes, Dennis, I think it's pretty obvious what's happening there. The Fremantle Dockers runners looking a bit confused. I think the guys like Knights and these guys getting on top. Michael Gale having a good quarter then, taking a lot of marks, and also Brendan Gale. Too tall and maybe too quick.
Start of the final term of the MCG. The Dockers, in their first outing, have been competitive. They'll need something special from here, though. Deer and Burton, interesting duel all day. This is Kickett at the base of the pack. Brilliantly smothered. It ricochets out towards Maxfield. Hurried kick, gained about 10 metres. Edwards now an opportunity. On his own half back line, across to O'Reilly. Strong tackle, almost got him down. Norwich going nowhere. Daffy has the ball, but it's going to be a free kick to Norwich. Taken high, said the umpire. Dockers a bit lucky there. Norwich out of defence towards midfield. A couple of players had to wait. Abraham, Kickett came across, but he couldn't hang on. Campbell comes away and kicks inside the 50. This is Daffy, about 40 metres from goal. Spots Richardson out of the corner of his eye. Bad luck for the Tigers. It bounces out of bounds in the pocket. Now that's what we call great vision. Almost impossible to see him, but somehow may have heard the call, but the kick not quite there.
Boundary throw in, 15 metres from the behind post. Burton educatedly goes for the boundary line, finds Norwich. Oh, it's a long looping hand pass, almost a hospital job to Mann, who did well. Not too many options on for him. Campbell, well, speaking of vision, that was just as good, and he's plucked out Rogers, maybe just a little bit too far out from goal. Realising this, Rogers spots a man on his own in a better position, gets dragged down as Bond. Probably just about as far out from goal, though. Best and fairest for the Tigers last year. Chris Bond, only 17 career goals, which might surprise from his 55 matches. First played in 1990. Burton in the goal square, some height there to go with Deer. O'Reilly certainly had his work cut out this afternoon. One-on-one duel.
Well done, Gale.
Man in front has it punched away. Leach overruns the ball. Rogers takes the hand pass from Naish over the head of Burton, if that's possible. Bounce. Well, the big fellow's away. He did well in the first quarter, and so too did his skipper, Allen. And that was when Fremantle played its best football. Deer lopes after it. As Jack Dyer would have said, like a Gippsland triantelope.
Wasn't that a good kick?
To centre wing. Deer and Burton. Burton won that one. Tried to find Leach. Broderick over the top of his opponent. Kick away comes from, I think it was Maxfield. Nation Norwich. And both content to let the ball just go over the boundary line, where we will see it thrown in just on the attacking side of half forward for Richmond.
Burton in front, directs it down. Waters camped over the ball, in trouble. Allen going nowhere, jarred loose. Naish yet to kick a goal this afternoon. Hand passes towards the middle. Not much percentage in that. Chisholm did brilliantly, put Rogers down. Lost the ball though eventually. It came across to Knights. Now Campbell on his knees. Rogers. Knights has got it right on the 50, falling to the ground. Not a bad hand pass to Daffy. And Daffy's snap is good. That's his third.
Very happy Nick Daffy. 3 goals, a good effort. Richmond just more or less going through the motions. The game really has deteriorated since the first quarter. A lot of mucking around with the ball, as it is in the case there, very indirect towards goal, but then finally gets to Daffy after a series of hand passes. And his third.
5 goals the difference now. Daffy, the leading goal scorer for Richmond this afternoon. He has 3. And why wouldn't Daffy be happy, as you said, Don? The Dockers need something. It's got to happen quickly for them. O'Reilly. Wigney. Well, he hasn't really
I don't think
done
he's
too much
made a
wrong.
mistake. I was just going to say exactly the same, Peter. He's gone out of the game a bit, but boy, he hasn't made a mistake to my knowledge.
Certainly a good deal with Burrows. Richardson got what he should have taken. Knights farms it out well. Broderick,
Well done.
good smother by Ben Allen. Now Waters, who's been a little
Hurt
bit
himself,
disappointing
Allen,
today.
after that smother. He's
Kick
on.
it onto Burton. Burton from midfield. Good hand pass back to Kickett. Nice evasive work. by the 5-club player. Down he goes towards half forward. Edwards has a shot at goal. 35 metres out. Great goal. Edwards gets his first, and one of the best passages of play for the day from the Dockers. 11:15 to 8-9.
Start on the back half of the square by Ben Allen when he smothered the ball. Hurt himself too, Allen. And kick it. Had plenty of time. He was in two minds as to what to do. Then finally went short to Edwards. And Edwards, who's played over 100 games in the waffle, his first.
Brendan Gale off the ground. That's bad news for the Tigers. How it comes on.
What is it, a back problem?
Not sure. Russell will check it out for us. Meantime, back in the middle, Broderick emerges with the ball. His 21st possession, floating it down towards half forward. Naish comes up, juggled attempt at the mark, not paid, bit tough. Kick it comes away. Kick it towards the outer side, actually stops and gives the ball to Waters. Now Waters around the outer side has had a bounce. He kicks inside the 50. The Dockers keep on coming. They're pesky. At ground level, Bell, Miranda knocks it away.
It's a sign of a good player what Kicker did on that occasion. He can sum up a situation. He did that before too. Plenty of time to do what he wants to do with the ball. That looks like a bit of a back problem to Gale.
See, Gerard Healy could tell us exactly. Off hands, it falls forward. Socket off the ground by Dia. Still he goes, the big lumberer, and the ball goes out of bounds. He's a willing worker.
But we mightn't understand it, Dennis, anyway.
Yeah, but you feel better. Let's go down to Russell. He may be able to explain this. Russ?
Dan, Brendan Gale's just got a cork. He's just getting a bit of treatment on the boundary line at the moment, but I think he'll be all right. He's in a bit of pain. But corkies, they don't tickle, mate.
We could have all got that, as it turns out. Allen's over the ball, crashing his way through as Broderick. Down went Bond, taken by Ridley, lost it in the tackle. Bond floats it towards midfield. Burton, a player of great promise, there's no question about that. Allen is down and hurt once more. Meantime, Chisholm kicks inside the 50.
To Ridley.
In front down there, Campbell. Good shepherd too, strong shepherd from free.
Yeah,
Campbell put it out of bounds on the full.
Well,
Okay, to take the free kick.
And there's Allen. That's from that smother before on Broderick, which resulted in a goal to Edwards.
He's gone in short, and that's okay. He's found Gilbert.
I think he copped another one since, Don.
Gilbert moved up to the forward line, obviously. Played most of the day in defence. Ridley, who's been quite good. His marking has been excellent. He's their leading goal kicker with 3. Peter Bell's got 2, and he got both of those in the first quarter.
They're sticking, aren't they?
They're sticking, but they need a bit more up forward, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Delaney coming on for the Dockers as Ridley lines up.
Not too quite sure why Delaney went off. One of their best with 17 possessions. Ridley, acute angle. Not a bad sort of a kick. Just off target, off the hands of the pack. A little bit of a wrestle in the goal square. Burrows and Wigney obviously don't like each other's aftershave. And one behind. The end result, though, of the kick.
I would say that Wigney could represent Victoria as a centre-half back once again if he continues in this form.
Well, he's given a free kick away.
Come on, umpire.
But you would have to say, Dennis, Don, that was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, wasn't it?
Ridiculous.
No doubt. They're
That's
not popular,
just
these umpires.
Sorry?
I say they're not popular, are they?
Oh.
So Burrows gets the kick, and Burrows gets the goal.
Or does he?
No, he doesn't. Well, the goal umpire stood rock solid, statuesque if you like.
Oh, come on.
Umpire Russo having a few words to both of them.
Well, I'd go and bump him again, Don. You never know. You might
It's
get another one.
unbelievable. It really is unbelievable.
Killaway kicks it around the outer side. Campbell, terrific grab. Not paid? Yes, it is paid.
And there was a heavier bump by Deere on Burrows in the centre square, and they didn't pay that.
Well, Campbell's got the footy on the outer side. 11:15 plays, 8:11. There goes the kick from Campbell down towards half forward. The big man in from the side.
He's quick, isn't he?
Yeah, Burton's terrific. He kicks it down towards half forward. Coming at the ball hard is Broderick. Watch his hands. He's so slick with the hand pass. There he goes again over the top. Howard away, sent into space. Howard alongside the centre circle. Boots it towards half forward. Guess who? Burton. Seen as a project when he was with the West Coast Eagles, but they didn't go on with it. Not a good kick. In short, showed a lot of the ball to the Tigers. This is Naish, about 65 metres out. Chip pass. Maxfield, left-footed player, sends it long towards the kick-off line. Taylor-made down there for Richardson. In from the side. Rogers claimed the mark. Play on's the call. Norris comes away. Gets it out to Waters.
Scotty Waters, who's had 2 stints on the bench. Kick it. Does well. Edwards running with him down to Delaney, who started this last quarter on the bench. Got a nice old heave-ho. Tackle applied by Knights. Out to Edwards. And a little chip down towards Tony Free.
He'll be happy with his performance today. He hasn't had too many runs this year because of his broken jaw.
How can that be play on?
Good question. Edwards and Knights. Knights nearly. Naish. Umpire paying advantage. Must have been a free plucked out. Maxfield. Long hand pass. Not really to the
No, it was very ambitious,
side.
wasn't it, Peter, that hand pass?
Naish just couldn't pick that one up.
It would have been better to kick the ball instead of hand passing on that occasion.
So boundary throw in with 12.5 minutes left in the match. 81-59. And as we expected today, the Dockers certainly competitive, but they just haven't quite the physical strength to go with the Tigers. This is Ridley. He's off. He's caught. That's holding the balls.
Well done, Howard.
Johnny Howard to take the free kick. He'll be keen to get into the action. Howard at left half back. Would have watched on interestedly the performance of Wigney. Deer in front. Couldn't take the mark. Shuffles it forward. Now Burton takes it from Ben Allen. Good long kick. Groom. Yes. Great mark.
Wasn't that great by Burton through the middle, Doc?
So he's got great reflexes. He's quick in the brain and he can sum up a situation. And I think that man is only going to get better as the season goes on, Burton, because he does deliver the ball very, very well for a big fellow. Groom in front, too big for Callaway.
And his third kick, Chris Groom. Now, what is that goal umpire going to say this time? 1 goal.
The other good thing is that the players are prepared to give it to Burton as he's running past, and a lot of cases a ruckman's not rewarded for running past, but they've got confidence in Burton. He makes position, gets the ball. Now here's the build-up once again.
I tell you what, the Dockers aren't out of this match by any stretch of the imagination.
And there it is, from Allen to Burton. He does well.
If they get the next goal, well, it's going to be a real nail-biter, isn't it?
11:15, 9:11, still plenty of time. Burton goes up, whistle, centre square infringement. Docker free. Allen's got it. 24th possession. Former Hawk star, not a good kick. Howard gets on the end of it, plays on. Free's got it across half back, comes towards the wing. Docker's there in number. Strong mark in front, held by Chisholm.
3-1 on that situation, Dockers' favour.
No club has trained longer than the Dockers. They've been hard at it since, I suppose, 3/4 of the way through last season. The ball on the outer side. Will that stand them in good stead here? Edwards back to Waters, about 60 metres from goal. Feeds it back towards support and Edwards. Edwards, the man who initiated that, hooks it around the corner. But Knights goes back and takes the mark.
He's got to work, Knights. He's got to work. That is a good mark.
It's in the back pocket. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball today.
He's picking up Dale Kickett at the start of this last quarter.
Dockers have the numbers. Chisholm got in front, should have taken the mark. Free kick going to the Dockers. Holding decision. And Chisholm is going to take it. Or is it going to be O'Reilly? No, I was right. Chisholm. Centre wing. To Kickett. Might be just a little too far out as well. Well, he's got onto that one. That's a boomer. Accuracy wasn't there, though. It's out of bounds on the full. And it will be a free kick to Richmond. Probably Gale will take it in the back pocket. And that is going to be the case. Just over 10 minutes left. Michael Gale coming in for kick number 5. Right next to the behind post. Hugs the boundary line with the kick. Burton in front. Deer behind. Edwards will be more than content to take it over the boundary line. He succeeds in doing that for a throw-in. Scoreboard 11-15-81. Richmond, Fremantle 9-11-65. Deer and Burton go at it again. Now a chance for Waters. Underground hand pass onto Bell. A little chip down towards half forward. He's found Gale doing some of his best work in the final quarter.
That's a good kick.
Gale out wide. Allen might have given away a free kick. No, the umpire says it's Bond's ball. Play on. Well, Didn't seem to go over the mark. Bond again. Still he goes. Ball still in play. And still Bond.
Well done, Bond.
And grab. Must take a free kick.
That was great play by Bond. Kept it. Oh, now there's a turnover. That is stupid play at this stage of the game. Stupid play.
Yes, you couldn't argue with that either. Ridley.
Terrific play by Bond, and then to turn it over, just an act of stupid aggression.
So Todd Ridley, their leading goal kicker with 3. Bad kick. Certainly hasn't been a feature of their day-to-day, kicking into the forward line. Gale's hand pass intended for Knights. He's under pressure. It's out of bounds on 50.
Well, they've got a mini crisis on their hands here, the Tigers. Matthew Knight's not happy. Just over 9 minutes till full time.
Durkay back on for a Fremantle.
16 points the difference. Dia, it comes back to Burton. Bond's over the ball. Taken by Knights. Well done. Ahead to Howard. On to Free. Boots towards half forward. Storming up the ground his man. Couldn't control it. Prescott's on now. Cross towards Richardson. Knocked away by Norris. Taken by Rogers. Hurried kick.
It's a relayed free kick. Dennis is against Fremantle on Norris. Oh, on Rogers, I should say.
I don't think it'll be relayed. It's coming back to Rogers.
Well, it went over the boundary line on the free kick.
Well, that was interesting.
On the full.
Because the umpire was indicating down the ground initially, wasn't
Yeah, but
it?
it went over the boundary line on the full, so he's got to bring it back.
So Rogers, the players have a sense of direction. It comes back to Turner, close to the boundary line, where the ball went out. Naish had to wait, knocked away as a result. O'Reilly, strong tackle by Naish. Here's Turner, pulls it back towards the middle, and Campbell low down. Clever.
I wonder whether Turner's run down from that backline position or whether he's playing as a forward now, but that was excellent play by Turner. There he is on screen. Instead of having a go for goal, bringing the ball back in towards the centre, opens up the face of goal, and that was excellent by Turner.
You get the feeling, though, Don, regardless of what happens here, that no teams will be relishing a trip to Perth to play the Dockers.
No, that's for sure, Dennis. They'll win quite a few games over there.
Shown a lot this afternoon. They've been terrific. And the Tigers have done enough. Campbell gets the goal.
Campbell, who played on the half-back line today, had a thigh problem pre-season. He's kicked his first goal. Naish. Now on the boundary line, or hard on the boundary line, is Turner. There. Good tackle. That was, I think, by Naish. And good turn by Turner to Campbell.
Wayne Campbell's 47th career goal. Edwards and Rogers tangle. Kicked off the ground by Knights. He'll do the same again if he can get clear. Now he picks it up. Hand pass is to Naish. Around Delaney. Tigers going in circles. Dia. Edwards. But Richmond should just about be clear. If they can get the next goal, they will be home. If the Dockers can get one, maybe a slim chance. Marking contest inside 50. Maxfield. Quick kick. Richardson sees it bounce just on the line, and it will be thrown in the Tigers' left forward pocket.
And so that Turner's playing across a half-forward line. He took that ball well on the centre wing.
I think a lot of clubs will be looking at the tape of the match to see what form the Dockers can display. This is Crummell. We haven't seen too much of him this afternoon. And off the boot there of Scott Chisholm for a rush behind. But they've shown enough, as was mentioned a couple of minutes back, for us to note that especially home in the West, they're going to be hard to beat. Well, certainly on today's form it would appear that way. Abraham. Winston Abraham. Sounds like a West Indian cricketer, doesn't it?
Fast bowler.
Correct. That's too high, is it not? Yes, it is. Richardson. He got one high and low, I think.
An advantage paid.
Daffy. Opposite number 10, O'Reilly doesn't see it bounce kindly for him. He finally manages to pick it up. Long looping hand pass. Norris on the boundary line. Started on the bench today. Has been okay. Burton lumbers after it with Bond. There's the long and the short of it. David and Goliath. Ridley sits nicely for him. Ridley at right centre wing. The captain goes away. Ben Allen looked injured earlier. Long kick from right on 50. Terrific kick. That's a magnificent goal. If it's there, the umpire says all clear. Great effort. 12-16 to 10-11. and still Fremantle are in this match.
Hard on that boundary line. Here it is, the build-up once again. It was Burton who got it initially. Hand passed it on. Ridley getting involved. This is a good kick by Allen because he's not running towards a face of goal. He's going more towards the boundary line. But then again, a great kick from goal from the captain. His first, playing midfield.
And what about Burton? 10 kicks, 9 hand passes. The figures of a rover. Allen backhands it out. Howard against the flow. Dia, who's toiled manfully, pushing the back. Free kick to Knights against Kickett. 88 plays 71. But we're down to 6 minutes now. Matthew Knights has improved the longer this game has gone. Goes down towards half forward. Richardson comes on a lead. They're missing Gale on the forward line.
We've got Edwards down there now who's going to lead.
Cleared he and Crummell waiting behind Maxfield to Prescott off one step. Misses to the left.
Tapes off the ground for Richmond, and as we saw, Edwards now on. Stuart Edwards, that is.
Ashley Prescott spent most of the day on the bench. 12-17, 10-11. Chisholm to bring it in. Short. This is Delaney. Now he's away. He's at centre half back. Tony Delaney loves it.
That's where he gets into trouble. The second option, the best thing to do for him is the first option every time.
Dia only as far as Norwich, who's got plenty of support around him, to Ridley. Prescott, strong tackle. Leach over the ball on his own half back line. Quenton Leach around in a big circle. Now the chip to Waters. Waters, well, he lost it. And Naish comes away for the Tigers.
The idea was right, but the hand pass, or the execution of the hand pass, was terrible. Put it down to pressure at the situation, which is that 89 plays 71, and we have 5 minutes left in the match. So if the Dockers can get up with from here, it'll be terrific for them, but I just can't see it happening. Man, a standing start. Ridley cannons into the back of his opponent. At the back of the pack is Dia. Onto Bond. He's been his usual brilliant self. Waters at the fall of the ball in front. Didn't have the height. Norwich. Strong tackling by Richmond. Waters again an opportunity on all fours to try to get the ball clear. Now they come forward. Durkay. Low trajectory drop punt up towards full forward. Good mark, Gilbert.
Well, against this, it's back to 12.
They're not out of it, are they?
A defender kicking at goal. Gale grimaces. I'm not really quite sure what I'd say his chances here would be, Dennis.
No,
did play on the forward line on occasions for Melbourne. Phil Gilbert.
And played most of the game here on the back line. He and O'Reilly shared the kickoff duties earlier. 48 metres from goal. And judging by the crowd reaction, he's missed. One behind. Kicked by Phil Gilbert. Gee, that would have been handy.
Awkward kicking style.
His first score of the day, logically. So the difference back to 17 points. Well, 3 goals for Fremantle can win it in under 4 minutes. Campbell has the football and will bring it back. But it has been a most entertaining affair. The first game for the Fremantle Dockers.
There's not too many options for Campbell.
And the umpire now directing him to kick in. One of the options was to go long, which he does. Howard there misses the mark. Allen's kick. Richmond again with the numbers. Well, Gilbert might have given away a free kick off the ground. Durkay and one behind. Ooh, Richmond supporters breathe a sigh of relief. So again, we say 3 goals can win it. I think the time might beat them, Dennis.
They'll need to be quick, Pete. Here's Campbell barking instructions from the goal square.
In the centre, he's got Naish. Oh no, it's a bit late.
He goes for distance, probably the best policy in this situation. Howard was up, didn't hang on. Rogers quickly away to Naish. The hand pass not particularly good. The Dockers have got the numbers around the ball. Well played by Kickett. Releases Burrows. If they can get the next goal quickly, it will be interesting. Down towards the pocket. It's off target again. No, it's a free kick. It'll go to Campbell. Against Groom. Yep.
It's frustrating when you, as a forward, you work so hard to get the ball down, or a midfielder and the forward gives away an easy free kick by being behind.
Tigers by 16 points. Here's Bond up ahead. Still in his own defensive 50. Little chip pass across the ground. Gale.
Go back to Bond.
He's thinking about it. Gale on the outer side. Richmond in front and hanging on. A lot of spirit shown from Fremantle in the last 10 minutes or so. The ball out of bounds.
Or is it a question of whether Richmond relaxed? You don't know, do you?
Thrown in. Burton. Opposed to Deer. This is Kickett. Well, if they have, they need to be careful. Great smother off the boot out there by Rogers. The hand pass over the top from Waters. Kickett and Rogers. Well, that was interesting. It's jarred loose. Abraham, 50 metres out. Spears it down towards full forward. Groom. So Groom directly in front. A chance to pop through his third. Wasting no time. Kicks it. Here come the Dockers.
3 goals to Chris Groom, their leading goal kicker today with Todd Ridley. 10 points the difference. Well, can they get the next one? There's still time for them. That was a great little flick out there, wasn't it?
Good kick.
It was a great kick.
Fine mark. Could have played on, but elected to go back and did the wise thing. 3 goals to Groom from limited opportunities, and we have a ball game on our hands. A thriller at the MCG. 10 points the difference in the final quarter. Closing stages thereof. Scotty Waters. Gale certainly missed by Richmond off the ground with a back injury. Can the skipper do something? Free misses it. Abraham onto his right boot. A snapshot. Groom again. It bounces. It bounces. It bounces. It's there.
Whoa.
Less than a kick in it.
I did say they're probably the fittest side in the competition.
Winston Abraham.
And they're running on.
Well, it's certainly going to be a free kick had it not have gone through for a goal, because Callaway was holding on to Groom. And in hindsight, we're always wise, but Callaway not tall enough for Groom. But here's Abraham from that 50-metre line. Doesn't look to goal, but lets it go. It bounces.
Have the Dockers got a sniff of victory? Have Richmond relaxed, as Don suggested? There's less than a kick in it at the MCG. Can the newcomers spoil the party for the Tigers? Bonds kick out of the centre towards half forward. Naish boot the ball from one step. It's a high ball in towards Edwards. Couldn't take the mark. Naish again tries to kick it clear. Now Daffy goes goal and misses. He gets a minor score. So still the Dockers are in this. 1 point as the goal umpire rushes across, and John Northey pulling out more hair. 90 to 85.
Quick hand pass by Prescott to Daffy.
So the margin is 5 points. A goal can win it for the Dockers. Burton drops the mark, collides with Naish. Deer over the ball.
Lucky not to be pinged then, Deer, because he pulled it back in and he didn't make an attempt to get rid of it.
Clock continues to run. They haven't won in round 1 since 1982. John Northey looking apprehensive now. His side being challenged. There's the time remaining. They'll need to move it quickly. Knights goes up, thumps it down towards Richmond's goal. Edwards comes out in front. It's socked away by Crummell. Naish inside the 50, spins, gives it across to Daffy. Daffy heads for home. Man in from the side should mark and does. Now O'Reilly's on, so's Waters around the outer side. Here they come, inside the last minute. Can they muster a very late goal, the Dockers, and win this? The kick from Waters to the wing. Durkay juggles the mark. He's got it. We're down to 45 seconds.
Himself. He can go long.
Here's Durkay between half-back and the wing. Kicks to Waters in space. He's marked it. Clock at 35 seconds. Scott Waters, a quiet player. Kicks down towards the 50. In from the side, Deer.
That's
big
smart
fist
play.
out of bounds, and the clock will stop.
26 seconds left.
Smart play from the big fellow. He's got to send it back towards the boundary line. And what the Dockers have got to do is bring it over the back.
They've got to get the ball here, the Dockers.
Burton's got to bring it over the back, Deer towards the boundary line.
Well, Deer did the right thing. Kick it. Is that in the back?
A free kick.
No.
Lucky.
That might have been their last throw of the dice. 17 seconds and still the clock ticks down.
Now he's got to go to the boundary line again, Deer.
I think the time has run out for them. They need to get a free kick from this bounce to have any show whatsoever. There's the siren. Richmond have won it in a thriller. And Jared Neesham ponders what might have been. So near yet so far, and Richmond have broken their hoodoo in the first round of a season winning the match by 5 points, 12-18-90 to the debutant Fremantle Dockers, 12-13-85.
Wow.
Well, what a great last quarter it was. 34 points. The Dockers scored to 15.
Let's go down to Russell Morris.
Rightio. Benny Gale. Tight one.
Yeah, it was a tight one, Russell. Yeah, I guess we would like to come out half-time and really kicked away, but, you know, finishing off really cost us, I think.
Do you think Fremantle threw everything at you in the first quarter? What did Johnny Northey say to you at quarter time?
Oh, we just thought, you know, it was going to be tight, and, you know, we kicked ourselves out of the first quarter, I thought. We could have been 4 or 5 goals up, but, you know, we just stuck to our plan and you know, got home in the end.
Why was the reason, like, beginning of the game, you started off at full forward and Richo was a centre-half forward. Last year you played most of your top football as centre-half. Any particular reason for that today?
No, look, I played centre-half forward and full forward in the pocket. We rotate around all day. There was no really definitive position, so, you know, we're just both pretty flexible, so hopefully we can keep doing it throughout the season.
I noticed Richo's fitness has probably improved by about 25-30%.
Oh, he's a super fit guy for his height and size. He's probably the quickest in the club and probably the fastest over 4K, so he worked pretty hard on that.
Well, let's hope from Richmond's point of view you have a good year, and I'm sure that Fremantle will win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, we've got a bit of work to do, Russell, but it's a start, mate.
Yeah, good on. Thanks very much, Benito.
And thank you to Russell Morris. The first round drought is broken for the Tigers, and the fairy tale did not come true at the MCG, but a great game of footy. Richmond home by 5 points. Well, 2 in a row. Great game last night at this ground and again today. 3 points the margin last night. 5 points this afternoon. The Tigers home 12-18 to 12-13. Checking the goal scorers for Richmond. 3 to Daffy. 2 each to Brendan Gale, Richardson and Edwards. And singles to Tape, Campbell and Broderick. And for Fremantle, Ridley got 3, as did Groom. 2 to Bell and singles to Edwards, Allen. That was a great goal. Abraham and Burrows. So 5 points to the Tigers. Terrific game of football.
It was, Dennis. I think there's a lesson there for both, or for all clubs really. One to Richmond is the fact that they're not good enough to take any opposition lightly, and I think they did that at the start of the first quarter.
Were they as fit? I
don't know about fitness-wise, but I think there was a lack of commitment in certain areas. And the other thing, a warning to all clubs: don't take the Dockers lightly, because they have got talent, and over there they'll certainly run the ball in Perth very, very well. And you know, their last quarter effort was terrific. You know, and they've got some very skillful, very good players.
10 rookies. I mean, that's really outstanding when you examine it in that light, isn't it?
Well, I've watched Brisbane when they came into the competition. Maybe they're not as good as Adelaide when they came in, but they're not far short of Adelaide when Adelaide came into the league a couple of years ago. They're better than Brisbane.
Second group out of Perth. I mean, Adelaide, that was prime stock. This is what's been left after the Eagles have ravaged. It's terrific.
And that was a terrific smother. He hurt himself there, Alan, but this results in a goal. Watch the build-up here. Burton, who I really don't understand why he never got a go at the Eagles. Maybe they believed he lacked a little bit of mobility, but he certainly did work well around the ground.
Well, he doesn't seem to, does he? Give him his due. He's very mobile.
Very quick reaction-wise.
6'10.5". What's that? 210 centimetres. That is remarkable.
There was a good battle between he and Deere, and I think Deere did the right thing right at the last stage, because they could have scored a goal. There was 30-odd seconds to go, and Deere came and sent the big ball over the boundary line, and that allowed the clock to tick away, and he did that on 2 occasions. So Richmond can thank Deere, I believe, for their win today. Groom was terrific. Maybe a mismatch in height as far as Callaway and Groom is concerned, and that's maybe something that the blame can be placed on the coaching staff at Richmond, because he was just a little bit too short.
Pretty even the numbers there. Just taking a look at the centre breaks.
That's interesting, the centre breaks favouring Fremantle, yes, slightly, but still it's 15-10. That's still not a bad effort.
So the Tigers win it by 5 points. Russell Morris is down on the boundary. What news, Russell?
Well, Dennis, it's interesting with Richmond having so much of the ball in that for most of the game, and yet only getting in by 5 points. It was quite surprising, because Fremantle probably couldn't get within that 2 or 3 goals most of that, the last 2 quarters, but having a 5-point loss was not too bad from Jared Neesham's point of view.
Well, looking at the expression on the face of John Northey, it was interesting to see which coach had won and which coach had lost, because Neesham seemed pensive and Northey seemed quite angry about that result.
Well,
strange situation, isn't it? Mixed emotions here.
Northey had everything to lose. Neesham had nothing to lose because, Richmond have been in the competition for over 100 years now, or since 1908 at least, and then Fremantle, obviously the first day, everyone thought, well, they won't win, might win 2 or 3 games for the year, but they've really surprised everyone, and I think it's congratulations to them, although they didn't win.
No.
But it is well done.
They'll be tough in Perth.
Oh, certainly, but it's all in the mind. Like, obviously, a lot of the guys that were playing didn't seem overawed. I mean, they had a go, and at certain times during the third quarter, they sort of running across sideways and didn't know what to do with the footy, but they kept going, as you called the game.
Now, what about your votes?
Well, it's interesting because, as I said, I believe Richmond had most of the ball. I mean, if they'd kicked straight, they would have maybe won by more, but I've given 1 vote to Ben Allen because he set the game up early for Fremantle, and I've given 2 votes to Matthew Richardson. I think he's a much improved player. As I spoke to Benny Gale earlier, Richardson's moving out to centre forward. He looks fitter, he's chasing, he's contesting a lot of the hard things that Don Scott mentioned earlier. And I've given 3 votes to Campbell, because I think Campbell was instrumental. He was up and down the forward line, up and down the back line, across the centre line, got a lot of touches, and really instrumental in getting the ball out of the centre for Richmond.
Okay, thanks Russ. Wayne Campbell best on ground, according to Russell Morris. Just checking that final scoreline from the MCG. It was a terrific game of football. Generally, the Tigers seemed to be in charge, but they've got home by just the 5 points. The final score, 12-18 to 12-13. I would imagine that Jared Neesham doesn't feel too disillusioned tonight. They've gone under by 5 points, but a lot to look forward to, and the Tigers, I guess, a little confused. Thanks for joining us. Good night.